to get down. 10 kills on the board right now, just wiped out Tomato Town. My friend just got down, they revived him, now we're heading southbound. Now we're in the Pleasant Park streets. Look at the map, go to the mark sheet. Take me to your Xbox to play Fortnite today. You can take me to Mercy Meyer, but not Loot Lake. I really love to chug chug with you. We can be pro Fortnite gamers. He says, hey broski, you got some heals and a shield pot. I need healing and I am only at 1 HP. Hey dude, sorry, I found nothing on this safari. I checked the upstairs of that house, but not the underneath yet. There's a chest that's just down there. The storm is coming fast and you need heals to prepare. I've got V-Bucks that I'll spend, more than you can contend. I'm a cool pro Fortnite gamer. Cool pro Fortnite gamer. Take me to your Xbox to play Fortnite today. You can take me to Mercy Meyer, but not Loot Lake. I really love to chug chug with you. We can be pro Fortnite gamers. La 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 la. We can be pro Fortnite
The fact that I made hundreds of people listen to an AI remix of what is that Chug Jug song or something like that, it just brings me a certain level of joy knowing that I forced a certain number of you through that patiently, excruciatingly, waiting for the start. There's a little bit of joy in that. I had very yeah, some people like it, but I enjoyed making it and also forcing every single one of you to listen to it. Hope you're having a wonderful night. Don't worry, it's not going to get any less gay than that because we have Karl Casarda on the menu, very upset at the lack of inclusivity. So upset that he would advocate for your removal if you're not inclusive enough, which sounds a little exclusive to me. But before we get into that, Richard, how's your night going, sir?
Better than the few people in chat who really, really hated that song. I'm
gonna play it again. I'll play it again. What, you guys want to listen to it again for another 3 minutes? I'll do it again. All right, we're doing it again. Here you go. You're welcome. Where is it? There it is. Nope, that's the wrong one. Don't click on that one. There it is. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you. It would be funny though. It would be funny. We just do a 2-hour stream and we just keep randomly jump scaring people with that song. Yeah, I see it. You guys love it. John, I'm becoming a Democrat if you do it. Yeah, I'm voting blue to spite you, bastard. Damn.
Okay, Ahmad.
Yeah. Listen, okay, if you pass me the aux cord, you're either getting World War II ballads remixed or straight up white girl piss music, all right? But I hope you're all having a good night tonight. Mitzvot for 2 says, Father Moses' parish is in Austin. Well, I hope that he can turn Austin around. Round Rock. Good. I mean, it's a long ways away from me, but if you're in Austin, Texas, and you want to go to Divine Liturgy, Father Moses' parish, It's probably packed. Sabardic Psycho says, "Hey John, guess what? Chicken butt." All right, Sabardic, you got me. Gosh dang it. Derek's Horse Cum Collection for 5 says, "John, I deleted my Insta. Please take back the lawsuit. My wife's bull is pissed at me." We'll speak about bulls in just a moment, but
Better than pissed on you.
maybe he would like it. I mean, whatever these people are into, you know, I wouldn't surprise me. I wonder if Derek has a cum chalice. You know, Karl has a cum chalice, but does Derek have a cum chalice?
That he looks more like a Ben than a Derek to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Bend over. The light spore for 2 says African philosophy timing. True. We are on that Napa time. Napa instinct activated. Spencer Porter for 5 says, "Waiting on the stream to start is waiting on my dad to come home from getting that pack of cigarettes. Except you know what? Unlike your father, I came home because you paid me."
Not come.
That's awkward. Higgy shooting for 2 says mega gay, mega late. Oh, sorry. Mega gate, mega late. See, Freudian slip. I just read that as gay and late because I was instinctually ready for it. JLG for 2 says late and gay. That intro said hold my beer. I think it went hard. I think you guys are just jealous. The Lightsport for 5 says white girl music for the win. If you disagree, remember, I'm in better shape than you, and he will exact vengeance for the Emperor if you do not agree with his taste in music. Thank you, the Lightsport. Nate Eller for 5 says Focus is bringing the late, Karl is bringing the gay. Yeah. It's a meeting of two worlds. Sabardic Noticer for 2 says very tardy, Karl Casardi like the stream. Yeah, you guys should hit the like button. There's 500 people here right now. Just hit the like button and we'll get into it. Ruger Scout for 2 says no. I think that's about the end. We should play the intro again.
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
Sabardic Noticer for 2 says, la 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 la, you'll be my American goy. Okay, that's actually pretty good. I could have actually changed the lyrics, and it probably would have come out really well. Thank you, Sabardic Noticer. Appreciate it. Derek's Horse Cum Collection for 2 fires back defensively, says, I bring my chalice to my matches. Well, Derek, you get disqualified at your matches. Awkward. Anyways. Well, I have another gay confession to make for everybody today. Unfortunately, I bought another Turkish Delight. I bought another Canic Rival S because they were yes. Yeah, is it on loop? It just plays 1,000 times.
No, I just hit it twice because you were exclusively gay for buying 2 of them.
Well, yes, I have bought 2 of them. So they had one improperly marked at Shields for $450. Now, usually these are like $800, $700, somewhere in that range.
I take
and
that
so
back.
I asked the guy, and I was like, "Hey, is that correct? I'm pretty sure that's incorrect." Guy goes to the back, talks to his manager, whatnot. Comes out, he says, "Yes, that is incorrect, but we will honor the price for you." So for $450, I was like, all right, fair enough. I have a second Rival S. I have the chrome one that I wanted. I got extra magazines for it. And yeah.
You got lucky.
Yes, very lucky. So now I got 2 of them, which I'm not sure if that is twice as gay as one or half as gay because you have 2 of them.
So now you know you have to get gold chains and dual wield them.
Well, no, because these are Turkish, so you actually just need to chain smoke cigarettes and steal from people, I think. Right?
Have you seen the Turks? They all got gold chains.
Shields is mega based, but speaking of bowls, I want you guys to help me select the optic for it. And I'm thinking for a retarded blingy gun, it needs a retarded blingy optic, something like the Siley Bull Pro.
You have to do the Bull Pro.
I think it's calling for it. I think it is calling for the Siley Bull Pro, which is just obscenely huge.
It is
obscenely huge.
It's fun. Like I got to use one once at the range. Buddy had one on his. He got it as a joke, and
I've heard they're okay.
Fun. Yeah, it was a nice thought. It's large, but if you're just doing it for like a gamer gun, sure, absolutely.
Afghanistan says he got an X300U for 150 improperly marked. Darn, I gotta start looking their shelves more often. That is very good. Very good. Yeah, so also of note, because we are going to talk about Glock for a little bit, because we have their new updated list of all of their comped models. The Glock shelf at Shield was like half full. It was definitely a little lighter than usual. So I think those Gen 5s are going to be going pretty fast. So we'll see how much longer they hang out for. Yeah, make sure you use Randy Reviews at coupon code or his affiliate code, okay? So he can eat this month. Although maybe he's taking a break from that with everything else going on. Oh, Trench Grenade says, want something gay? Should have put a James Reeves on there and called it a day. Yeah, I watched your video earlier today on the James Reeves Glock. What do you want to call it? Cover train. Now, James has had a long history of being a Glock enjoyer, a Glocker, something like that. I'm sure there's a derogatory term for it somewhere, but I mean, come on, if you were expecting him to turn on Glock, I don't think that was ever going to happen. Never going to happen. Around the Fire says great legs, which is actually gayer than anything I've done so far in stream. Unbelievable. Jake says Gloop is gay, but that's because he's upset that Gloop keeps making funny photos with his little Twinkie toes that he puts on stream, which is actually the gayest thing anyone has ever done on this stream, Jake.
You know what,
Sorry,
Gloop?
bro.
DM me one of those.
Oh, dude, yes, please, Gloop. Send me one of those because they are hilarious. All right, let me see here. Ethan from Texas for $20. That is incredibly base of you, sir. Thank you very much. Richard, combine all of the PFPs requested today and combine them for the next stream. For now, activate the ears, contributing to the war chest, which would be a better GPR optic. The LCAN 1.5 to 6 or the primary arms PLXC. Well, one of those things is modern with good reticles, lightweight, and has, multiple mounting options. The other one of those is an LCAN, which would have been a really good optic in like 2005, probably even cutting edge in 2005. However, on the modern battlefield of your backyard, I would say the PLXC is undoubtedly better, and the one that I would choose. The 1X is better, obviously, because it's 1X versus 1.5X. And the 8X is mediocre, but the 6X, I'm not sure how good the 6X is on the LCAN either. So I would go with the PLXC all day, every day. Either the standard mill version, the Nova version is also good, or even the new RDB. Either one of those are going to be lighter, cheaper, and more effective than the LCAN 1.5 to 6. So,
and they're going to be about the same price for a used salty LCAN versus
no, an LCAN's what, 2K for that at least?
I think I've seen them for like 1,600. Now it's been a little while, but I want to check. It was like 16.
Okay, because I did see Optics Planet had some of the 1 to 4 models on, but they were 2,000 flat. Kodiak says he loves his PLXC over my NX8. Yeah, the PLXC that I had for a long time, loved it. Great optic. I just had to sell it to move on to other projects. So I would go with the PLXC of any variety. Pick your fancy. Sometimes they go on sale for like $1,200. Not a bad deal. Everyday American for 5 says fruity for buying a Canic, but mega straight for basically stealing it. Yeah, I mean it is a steal because I could turn around and sell it like right now for 700. So I don't feel like it was a bad investment, even if I need to get rid of it at some point in the future. And since I'm going to be putting like 30,000 rounds through them next year, having 2 is not a bad idea.
So yeah, the 1 to 6 is 2 to 25 new, so about 17 to 18 used.
On the used, yeah. I just dislike everything about the LCAN. Dynaside 13 Kettlebell Crusader Megapay says make Istanbul Constantinople again. Yes, correct. Constantinople is its true and proper name and will someday be restored. We can all hope and pray. Mitzvot for 2 says Holosun EPS carry on a Canic. Richard. Reyes, por favor. Mitzvot, I continually forget to get you your package, but it's actually kind of serendipitous that I didn't send it yet because it's actually basically what SIG decided to come out with, or not SIG, sorry, EOTech decided to come out with as their next optic. So thank you, Mitzvot.
Nice.
Everyday American for 5 says, I'm extremely pumped for factory comped Glocks. Yes, they are coming in a lot of different variations. Brings back the old Gen 3 vibes. Well, I would like to get a factory ported Glock, but they're not coming out with the MOS versions to start, if I remember correctly. So I have the screenshot pulled up. We'll take a look at all of the comped models that are coming or ported models that are coming. But yeah, thank you, Everyday American. Rad's Arms for 5 says, PSI, not full-blown attacking me makes me feel like the only kid in the neighborhood who the town diddler didn't diddle. Well, the town diddler won't be diddling no more, if I had to take a guess. So I think we are past that annoying bit of tripe in our streams. Thank you, Rads. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well, man.
Don't feel bad, Rads. I didn't even get an honorable mention.
Yeah,
I'm
and you're here
I'm
every
so
stream.
horrible. I know.
Coppertone 32 for 5 says, derogatory term for a Glock enjoyer? You mean a normal person? Well, I mean like somebody who like is a real Glock enjoyer, like rates the grip by mouthfeel, right? That's what I'm talking about. Because there's people who like Glocks. Like I like Glocks, okay, but I don't like Glocks the same way some other people do. Thank you, Coppertone. Appreciate it, sir. Nobody know it for 2 says, good evening, my fellow degens. Hey, none of us are degenerate. How dare you? You take that back, good sir. I assure you, we have been quite nice. All right? We have been quite nice today. Somebody who has not been nice today is Paulie B, absolutely abusing his wallet. Sends $50. That is insanely generous. Paulie, I appreciate it, good sir. I'm late to GunTuber drama, and like all men, I don't care for it. That is a lie. Because I'm late to live streams like yours, so Karl's particular afflictions pains me greatly, because I'm a what would stoner do stan and a KE arms maximalist. Man, I remember those days. Those were the hot days of YouTube gun content creator rifles, and that was the one that got a lot of traction. I've only ever seen a couple of them in person, and from the start, I was like, I don't know, fixed length of pole, polymer lower because it saves you 2.4 ounces. I'm like, I don't know about that.
I went with one just because I can beat on it and throw it around out in the woods, and I don't care about it. I also paid $79 for mine complete.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's not bad at all then. Heck yeah. Well, Paulie B, I know that this is personally offensive to you, but I'm very sorry for that, sir. Thank you, Paulie. Appreciate it. Ballistic Aviation, Luke B from TFB for 5 says, peace be upon ye, my son, and the fleas of 1,000 camels infest PSI's armpits. Well, you know, I feel like it was just bad karma. He went after everybody and then magically disappeared. I wonder why. What could have happened to such a nice guy? What could have happened? Who could have done such a thing to get rid of that man? And I'm pretty sure the fleas are infesting a different area, a third area.
I thought those were called crabs.
Everyday American for 5 says, $235 for a BCG. I'd rather grab a BCM or Daniel Defense on sale for $150. T-Rex arms always mid and always late to the party on products outside of the sidecar. Well, I mean, the sidecar definitely was like the best that they had to offer. However, what was it? Their AC Uno, their Ready Rig, some of their other nylon products for the time that they came out in were very good and very attractive in the market. Now, moving on 5+ years from then, not particularly exciting. I don't know the last time that they've had a particularly exciting launch on anything. And obviously you have the Lucas Botkin leaving, him still not being paid as far as I'm aware. So now they're in legal battles with their brother to not pay him out according to their contract. So it's all just a little lame. It's all just a little lame. Hey, Richard, go check your Discord. Accept a friend request from somebody.
I just did.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Everyday American. Appreciate it, sir. We were about to talk about that, but you guys will simply not let me leave. Coppertone 32 for 10 says, I rate all my guns by mouthfeel. My Glock 19 and Block 2 with RC2. We're going to talk about the RC4, which now comes with foreskin. Our top tier.
Ooh.
Also, Richard, favorite beer for PFP. What's your favorite beer?
Well, I'm a fan of Yinling just because it's a basic good beer that you can get just about anywhere in the southeast. But my ultimate favorite is something called Framboise. It's a German import beer that's made out of raspberries. It's delicious.
Nice. Deer Hunter for 20. People talking about beer, and I'm just nodding like, wow, that sounds good. Yeah. What flavor of piss is it? Ask somebody who's never had alcohol. Deer Hunter for $20. Says, can't stay for the stream. I'll catch the VOD in the morning. I need to be talked off a ledge. Well, don't jump. Don't jump. We need you here. On a Night Force NX8 4-32 F1, I got a line on one for 1500. I want it for my 20-inch Mark 12. Well, then it's not a Mark 12, it's 20 inches. But I think it might be too much scope. Thoughts, and God bless. Man, 32x magnification for a 5.56 rifle. I feel like that is more than you would ever use, but it's probably still very usable in the 8 to 20 range. So maybe it's not a terrible option if you want to take it out to like 1,000 yards or something. I personally wouldn't get something with that much magnification. I would rather take that $1,500 and get the most scope that fits within my use case, right? Rather than taking a good deal on a scope, but then trying to fit that 8 to 32 into a 20-inch 5.56 use case, right? So for me, that's too much. So I actually would take that and save it and put it towards something else that actually makes sense for that build, right? Something with 15 or 20 top end, usually at the most. Something that I do want to see, which I don't know if they're out yet, but the new Primary Arms PLX 2 to 20. A 2 to 20 for like around K. So yeah, something like that. But I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. That's probably terrible on the top end as well. But thank you, Deer Hunter. Thank you for the 20. Hope you have a good night and hope you have a good time catching this in the morning. Ridiculous for 2 says, you see Jared AF's video on the leaked Gen 6 features. Well, if it's just the patent photos, we've known about that for months. In fact, we have a video on the Clips channel from months and months ago going over the 2-piece frame and all the other stuff going on with it. So unless it's new information, Ridiculous, I have not seen it. Thank you, Ridiculous. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you. All right, finally. T-Rex bolt carrier group available now. Now, people were asking about this before the stream. I had seen the email, but it's not really that exciting. And keep in mind that this is just a CAC K-spec bolt. Like, that's it. So you have your 8620 hard chrome carrier. You have the sand cuts on it, which I think are fine. They're very aesthetics. You have the aux screws on the gas key. I believe it's a Carpenter 158 bolt, and that's it. Now, the price tag on these are $235, which is more expensive than the CAC BCGs. And I'm a CAC dealer, so it's like double the cost of a CAC bolt. And it's also more expensive than something like a BCM. It's only $60 off of a Geisley RE BCG. Right, when we're talking 230, 250 after tax and shipping, to 60 after tax and shipping, like, we're getting really darn close to some actual high-end BCGs, right? So we could go with something like the Victor system, which has a adjusted cam path. We could go with something like the Geisley RE BCG. The LMTs are like 400, so that's probably a little too far. You could go with something like the LWRC one-piece carrier, so it has a integrated gas key in the bolt or in the carrier itself. So $235 is a really, really hard sell. Also, as somebody who's bought about 20 of the CAC hard chrome carriers, some of them are oversized, and the CAC or the hard chrome itself was too thick on some of them, so some of them wouldn't even run, and I had to like bore them out myself. So, it's not my favorite thing. I don't know if I would spend nearly $250 on a aesthetically pleasing bolt carrier group, right? I think that's one of those areas where your price per performance really drops off a cliff beyond $120, beyond $130. Yeah, so Matt Dank is screaming, "What is good about this carrier?" Where's that clip?
I
Because you
don't
don't understand. You
care.
have
No,
It's
again, I don't. I don't fucking care, brother. Come on,
Okay,
I don't
great,
fucking
but-
care.
but I'll
What's
just
good
keep
about
going.
this optic?
Yeah, it has that energy to it. I simply don't know what is actually worth $250 about it, right? So the T-Rex Bolt Carrier Group, which is again just a KAK Industries, has everything we look for when buying a BCG: a Carpenter 158 bolt, an upgraded extractor spring, properly sealed and staked chrome-lined phosphate gas key. This carrier, that was phosphate, yes. This carrier also features a hard chrome finish for excellent corrosion resistance and increased lubricity, as well as sand cuts for prolonged suppressor usage. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's not terrible. But you can get a Carpenter 158 HPT MPI tested bolt in an AO precision carrier, which is phosphate chrome, for $99, $89. Yeah, and you can also just get the same thing from CAC with the dual ejectors if you did want something a little bit more fancy. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. It's a tax. Yeah, it's like a T-Rex arms tax. To me, it is strange because I remember they showed this off, I think, before Lucas even left. I think they had kind of shown this off. The hard chrome. Some people are suckers for hard chrome. You know, I just bought a chrome handgun, so I mean, I get it, right? But the guys, the RE, BCG, and some of the other one, yeah.
That's the only reason.
Prod Street Ramirez says, is the Canic Rifle S worth it? I think so. As a competition handgun, yes. As a duty gun, no, of course not. It's stupid for that. It is a competition only handgun. That's the only thing I would do with it. And all it is a cheaper Walther PDP steel frame. That's what it is. So if you're like, I want that, but I can't spend $1,500 per gun, and I plan on buying two, I'm gonna spend, like, literally combined, I spent $1,200 on both of the Rival S's that I have now. So that saves me a lot of money for other ammo. And since I'm, shooting 35 to 45,000 rounds a year, the extra money goes a long ways. So that's the T-Rex Arms BCG. Is that particularly exciting to you guys? I think not. Everyday American for $2 says, will the HTX-1 from Primary Arms ever come out? People have them. There's a pre-order, right? So that's not terrible. If you want one, I'm sure you can get them eventually. They're going to come out, I guarantee you. And from what Hoppa said, he has one. I don't have one yet. But from what Hoppa said, they're decent, at least first impressions, right? So as long as they don't start falling apart randomly, the mounting solution looks good, and they're mostly made in America. Coppertone for $5 says, did you see the guy get extradited to Florida from Texas for being anti-Semitic?
I did not.
I did not see that. Could you look up that story?
On it right now.
Because, we might have to do some semantics, engage in some semantics ourselves at some point. So thank you, Coppertone. Appreciate that. Ruger Scout 3 waits for $5 says, another day, another VOD. Well, I will see you tomorrow then, sir. And you will read this later and it will make sense. Looking forward to it at work. Isaiah 41:10, New King James Version. Stay strong, everyone. So let me go and pull this up real fast. Has now reached the Bible verse section of the stream. Fear not, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Thank you for that. Appreciate that, Ruger Scout. Have a good night, sir. I'll see you tomorrow. John New Island for $5 says, what 7.62 can will be good for a 16-inch 7.62 by 51 and 12.5-inch 5.56? Wow, that's interesting combo there. I don't care about decibels. I only care about flash and weight. I have Surefire mounts, but could switch. Well, you're gonna have to switch unless you want to go with a RC4, which is $1,500. And I don't know if they have a 30 cal version of that, or I'm sure they will at some point. But damn, so you want a 30 cal can that's good at flash reduction on a 5.56. I'm sure there are some cans, John, that are better at flash reduction on a 5.56. The problem with 30 cal cans on a 5.56 is that they don't disperse the gases the same way, because obviously there's a bigger hole at the end, so they're not as clean in terms of their flash suppression usually. I'm sure some are better than others, But that's actually not a question that I know a whole lot about. I know my 30 cal can is horrible on 5.56 guns. That's what I know. So if you only care about flash reduction and weight, that's going to be a light can too. That's complicated, but that'd be a better question for somebody who has a lot more experience with different cans than me, unfortunately. Sunburnt Bell for 5 says, I have a super safe AR-10 and 308. Dry fire is good. Live fire test tomorrow. Would you put it through its paces if it works and I sent it to you? No, because I'd have to spend $1,000 on ammunition for it. And I have other stuff to do, and it's going to be freezing out soon, dude. It's already like getting down into the 30s at night here. So you're going to ask me to go spend $1,000 and freeze over the winter. Not right now, but I do appreciate the offer. Thank you, Sunbird Bell.
I did inherit a bunch of 308 if you want to do it.
No. Everyday American for 5 says, and they won't ship AR parts to states with assault weapon bans, even though parts are completely illegal. Mega gay. They don't care about the customer or their quote unquote mission. Palmetto State Armory does the exact same thing. If you are in a banned state, but you have legal access to all of this stuff, they will simply not send it to you, which is horrifyingly gay.
I would never advocate for somebody to ship it to a friend and then have them ship it in for you.
Vandalay for 5 says, if you care enough about those features to know why they're good and why you need them, you aren't buying your BCG from your holster/nylon guys. I mean, I think they're trying to get more into optics and more into ARs. I think they're trying to, as they said a little while ago, they're trying with their fire sale, right? They're trying to expand their product offerings because I think eventually they want to be just a generic distributor that also has their own parts. Right, like Optics Planet, Euro Optic, Beaking Firearms, or whatever, Primary Arms, right? A lot of these other big guys, they want to like have their own line, but sell everything. If I had to guess. Thank you, Art Vandalay. The Lightsport for 2 says, Silencer Co. 036M is pretty good, no flash on a 10.3. Well, is it huge? Is the 036 the huge one? Because he also said he was concerned about weight. So if you're concerned about weight, then you can't have a massive can. Thank you, the Lightsport. Appreciate it, sir. Over on Ko-Fi, Darth Squidius says, hey, John, first super chat /Ko-Fi, adding to the war chest, stick it to PSI. Also, is there a new Discord server? Well, that's actually a great segue. We are planning on bringing a new Discord server to market that will not violate their terms of service. That is either going to be ready today or a little bit after that. So at least by Friday. By Friday, there should be a new Discord server, public Discord server that everybody can join. The Lightspore over here on Ko-Fi says, James Reeves is such a Niger-loving Fago. Are him and Hop actually related, or is that just a meme I've heard? That is just a meme. They are not actually related by blood, only bodily fluids. If so, I'm sorry, your brother's a Fago, Hop. He's not a fan. He's a nice man. All right. You just don't like his opinions. It's fine. The Lightsport, again on Ko-Fi, says, speaking of Hop, did y'all watch the stream with Jeff Gurwitch? I did. I love him and loved how casually he talked about canoeing a dude in the face. Yeah, I watched the stream with Jeff Gurwitch. Seemed like a nice guy. Interesting take on a competition rifle that I might check out just before the memes purely because I find that funny. Pod and Ammo 147 says, any Glock parts to especially stock up on Glock noob here? Thanks. You should stock up on, well, you don't need to stock up on anything because like Glock parts, even if they are discontinuing the Gen 3 and 5, they're still going to be around for decades. So right now you don't really need to stock up on anything. People are still going to be making parts. You still have all the Glock Gen 3 clones. Now, if the litigators start going after all of the other Gen 3 clones and they all go off the market, then you're going to need to stock up on, I would just buy a couple FCUs, strikers, recoil springs, stuff like that. All of the spring components, those are the things that are actually going to go out first. But that's a long time in the future. Yes, the offset prism. So straight up red dot, offset prism. Just for the memes, I might try that. Purely for the memes. All right. Jump scare for Karl Casarda. So this is a video of his that was sent to me that I was talked about because Gunfucius is the gentleman that's named in this video. So I have all of the backstory here for it. I'm not going to play the whole video. I personally don't want to subject you guys to the whole video, only about a couple minutes of it. So this is Karl of In Range TV, and we'll let him talk about some of his issues with one of the local range, which is the Pima Pistol Club in Tucson, Arizona. Dude, this, I do have to say before we get into it, this face is like the hey, me and my boyfriend noticed your vibe from across the bar and we're wondering if you too had a cum chalice at home. That's what I get from this.
Hey everyone, a quick little warning before you watch this video.
Oh, sorry. I also listened to it at 2 1/4 speed because it was painful. So that's probably a little too fast. We'll do normal speed.
Hey everyone, a quick little warning before you watch this video. I'm going to be sharing some memes from the current acting president of the Pima Pistol Club that are should be offensive to anyone with any sensibilities or human decency. So be warned that some of that's going to pop up on the screen, but it's relevant to this message that's in this video. I can't really exclude it, but if that's something that might disturb you or might be a problem for you, you may want to skip this one. But otherwise, you should.
Okay. He's not even gonna. Okay, so he said that these memes are so offensive and they should offend anyone with normal human sensibilities. They are the tamest memes imaginable compared to what you and your friends say all of the time. All right, they are just they're so innocuous. It's literally nothing. Oh yeah, no. You guys are upset now. Wait till I show you how innocuous the memes are. Wait till I show you how pathetic the memes are that he's upset with. Okay.
One with any sensibilities or human decency. So be warned that some of that's going to pop up on the screen, but it's relevant to this message that's in this.
He literally put a trigger warning for like unoffensive Facebook boomer memes.
Video. I can't really exclude it, but if that's something that might disturb you or might be a problem for you, you may want to skip this one. But otherwise, you should watch this because it is indicative of a lot of the things that are facing the firearms community in 2025. Welcome to 10%.
All right, so that's the memes better be funny if he's selling them like that, right? No, they're just not that funny. They're not even offensive. So that's the load you shoot out of your precision rifle? Well, I only shoot the most unarguably accurate hand loads using the 167.58 grain FMJ BT LGBTQIA bullets and powder made of micro granularized droppings from a unicorn's butthole. These are the offensive memes. These are the offensive memes that he was dropping. These are the trigger warning memes. How about this one? Nice grand, bro, but check out my 7.941592 millimeter straight pull bolt action rifle made in 1923 by a left-handed rebels with AIDS in Zanzibar. Okay, now listen. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time a collector talks to me about a rifle, this is exactly what you look like, and this is exactly what you sound like. Every time somebody mentions a Gewehr or Garand or something earlier than 1975, this is what you look like. This is what you sound like. Okay, I don't care. I don't care at all. Okay, all right. I get it. It's your autism. Okay, but like if somebody came up to me and just started spouting about trains, I'd be like, all right, bud, here's some crayons. Have a good time, and I'm gonna go that way. All right. So this is what you guys look like. All right, yeah, this is a vintage certified moment. Vintage certified moment. But yeah, okay, so that was one of the offensive trigger warning memes. Now wait, there's one more. There's literally one more, which is just accurate as far as I know. How can I represent black people in a positive manner, improve race relations in America, and help others realize that Black Lives Matter? I know. I'll make a rap music video about doing drugs. Fact check true. Committing armed robbery at higher rates than everybody else, killing innocent people all the time, and avoiding child support while recklessly flexing my stolen guns. And of course, there's a high point in frame as well. But I mean, yeah, no lie detected, right? No lie detected. It's like, is that offensive? To who? To whom is that offensive, right? Pull your panties up. You'll be all right. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Okay. It's like, actually, base. Yeah, no, they're nothing. They're nothing. It's nothing. It's so boring. It's so boring. And these required a trigger warning. Wait till he sees my group chats. All right, so I've jump scare again. I apologize. Karl Casarda, he started the 2-gun action match, and he ran it, I believe, mostly out of the Pistol Gun Club in Tucson, Arizona, in the early 2010s, 2009 timeframe, somewhere around there. That then turned into the brutality matches. Now, this is how gay and retarded this is. So, brutality matches are a trademarked brand, a trademarked slogan under In-Range TV. So literally, you cannot use brutality matches or brutality style matches because you would have to license them from Karl himself because he owns the trademark for that. So people call them action matches, whatever else it might be, but he has the actual trademark on brutality matches, which is mega gay, or at least he claims to, right? You guys can fight about that in the comments, but he claims in the video that I have the trademark for it. So, graciously though, I left 2-gun action challenge match up for Creative Commons because I'm so gracious. I wouldn't sue you if you use that name, but brutality, well, now we have a different problem here. So, and then along comes this other individual who has all these meme pages, one of them, of course, being the gun-grabbing memes. I think he's also Gunfucius, and that's where he's talked to me. Now, Gunfucius came under a lot of fire because he has supported and interacted, not with me, but with people who have been on my stream and supported me. So there's like a full degree of separation between myself and Gunfucius. However, leftoids like Karl here were very upset that he would even tacitly identify or support, even implicitly, somebody like myself. So they were big mad about some of the intolerance at display on this range, meaning that they didn't want degenerate, furry, tranny weirdos showing up to their range, right? They are a private establishment, and they can indeed dictate who can and cannot use their facility, right? And so Gunfucius is the, not the match director, he's the president of the club, and so there was a big falling out between the two of them at some point, so the 2-gun action challenge matches had to go away, and then Jeff, or Gunfucius, was going to bring out a new match under a new name called 2 Guns 1 Match. He also alluded to the fact that Karl Casarda's matches were unsafe because you have a bunch of retards in a condensed area with guns. Unsafe things do tend to happen. So that part I don't really have a lot of doubts with, especially when a lot of this stuff is like gun CrossFit, right? Where it's like, let's do jumping jacks and kettlebell swings, and then I'm going to run over here with my gun. And it's really mediocre shooting combined with really mediocre athletic stuff. It makes people feel more impressive than just shooting, but neither is their physicality impressive and neither is their shooting, right? So a lot of this stuff, this gun CrossFit stuff, it's just lame. It's just lame. It's performative. It's performative. All right, so we're skipping all the way. Now, that is basically a summation of everything between 35 seconds and 21 minutes and 20 seconds. So I have saved you guys almost 20 minutes with that very quick summation there. And what did I say? 21:20? 21:20. All right, I'll back up a little bit.
It would take to run this match. And through an anonymous source, we got a reply from him right here, in which he explains what he's trying to do.
So, Jeff Shee, who is again Gunfucius, who is the president of the Pima Pistol Club, who, what did Karl say? Let me pull up his exact quote here. Karl said that, at any rate, due to my stance about the inclusivity and the rights of all people in terms of the Second Amendment, we'll get to that later, of course, the entire Bill of Rights, this guy decided that I was his foe and does not believe in that, and that's pretty obvious based on the kind of memes that he posted and the sort of things he said at the time. Again, keep in mind that these horrible memes that go against the left or the rights of all people is something as tepid as this, which is, I would just say this is unfunny. Like, it's so milquetoast, it's unfunny, right? But that's the sort of thing that drives Karl to say, you're problematic for the community, and in the name of inclusivity, I'm going to exclude you, okay? Okay, buddy, you've got to go for being mean. So Jeff writes, who is again Gunfucius, who is the president of the club, that Karl is boycotting or leaving or saying that you shouldn't join this range because they are quote unquote problematic, which means based. Now, this is where it's at. Two-gun action challenge match historically has had a bad reputation at the Pima Pistol Club, with shooters blatantly disregarding range rules, which is problematic, of course, disrespecting club property. Who would have guessed that, leftist hooligans would disregard property rights? Strange. And stages designed in an unsafe manner or inappropriately using club property. In addition, thanks to the current volatile political environment, several people who have historically organized or been heavily involved in two-gun action challenge match have left due to political differences. We're going to make the following modifications. So we are rebranding, so we're getting rid of all of the two-gun action challenge match sort of stuff. We are rebranding as two guns, one comp, and go away from the 2G ACM brand. The spirit and format of the match will be similar, blah, 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 blah. And again, we're just trying to, culturally, the most important part is the last part. Culturally, we are hoping to attract the kind of shooters and clientele who are more likely to actually respect the club and property and avoid the problems we've had in the past. Hope that helps, and let me know if you'd still like to get involved. So again, saying, some of the types, some of the Karl Casarda types and some of his cohorts, they had a tendency to disregard safety, break range rules, and disregard our property. And so we'd like to disassociate ourselves from people like him. This is a very calm, nicely worded, professional letter that doesn't even necessarily throw any one individual under the buck, but Karl finds this highly offensive and says that you should no longer join this club because they're not inclusive enough, because they don't let us do what we want, or something like that, or they don't want the types of people that you may not want at your private range, at your, because it is, again, a private range, not a public range. It is a corporation with the intention to make money. And if your stuff keeps getting destroyed and your range rules are disregarded, well, you'd rather not have those types around. Yeah, so that is basically the story. I don't think Karl has anything of importance to say here.
And, here's the thing. The reason I'm putting this video out is I think the greater members of the Pima Pistol Club should know. They may not know, because he seems to be able to maintain some level of decorum and discipline in the meetings and amongst the people at the range. But they should know that this person has been on the internet for years as these three aliases, posting some of the most vile things you'll find in this space, and is now soliciting to run a match that is intentionally exclusive and is designed to keep out Americans and their firearms rights here in the Tucson area to shoot at a range at a match that has.
Again, they're not actually infringing on anybody's rights. They're saying, hey, we would really like to not attract the type of person that's going to destroy our property or not be conducive to families or sporting events or cleanliness or safeties or smell hazards, whatever else it might be.
Historically, for decades, been a place that they could have a good time, build community, skill, and safe gun handling. So this goes against all mission statements of the public range of the Pima Pistol Club. It goes against general decorum of being an.
Well, yeah, also, of course, important to note that he won the election to become the president of the Pistol Rifle Club. So honestly, I actually enjoy this sort of bifurcation, because all of the Karl types who are upset at the Pima Pistol Club will leave, right? They'll get butthurt and leave, cancel their memberships and go. Which means that you, the non-Karl type, can actually enjoy a more clean, peaceful time at the range that's a little bit less crowded. So now is actually the time to get a Pima Pistol Club membership if you're in the Tucson, Arizona area, right? Why not? And you can go to different matches with less gay retards. Now, I know you're in a stream full of gay retards, but when you're in a match with guns, less gay retards is probably a good thing.
American. It goes against general American beliefs about the Bill of Rights and the Second Amendment and how it should apply to American.
What would the founding fathers think about? It's like they always go back to this retarded thing that it's so un-American what these people believe. And I just kind of want to put my hand on their shoulder and look into their eyes and gently ask them, what do you think the founding fathers would think of you? Right. It's a question. I think of some very funny AI videos you can make with that.
The public range of the Pima Pistol Club. It goes against general decorum of being an American. It goes against general American belief.
Also, this is retarded. The decorum of being in America. While his side advocates for violence or celebrates violence or says you should punch a Nazi, punch a fascist, kill a fascist, whatever it might be, kill an ICE agent, whatever it might be, right? It's important to remember that people early on in American history fought duels and killed each other as part of American discourse. So this American decorum that you're talking about, like, people never used to use hard words. It's like, no. They fought and killed each other and shot each other in gentlemanly duels, actually, all the time. And tarred and feathered certain politicians. And yeah, there was much violence and harsh words to be had. That's actually part of American history. That is not ahistorical in our history. All right, but all right.
Beliefs about the Bill of Rights and the Second Amendment and how it should apply to American citizens. And he's just a terrible person. So at this point, I'm putting out this video. One, to explain what happened to the two-gun action challenge match.
Yeah, basically that's it. That's all you need to know. He's weird and retarded and incorrect about everything, and he got really triggered by these memes, which are... My problem with these memes is that they're just not that funny. I find this one a little funny, so it's like, oh, this one here was made in this specific factory by left-handed rebels with AIDS in Zanzibar. I find that a little funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
That's probably the funniest one. And again, none of these are what I would consider offensive. Also, keep in mind that these are the types of people that he chooses to keep company with. So here you have the Denver Communists saying Charlie Kirk had it coming, right? Celebrating the death of, and of course they look exactly the way you would think they would, but celebrating the death, the murder, the assassination of a man who held the wrong opinions. Also, this is something that Bucky Glow So Bright made, which I find very funny. Kill all fascists, suit ICE agents, a cob. I'm glad Charlie Kirk got shot because he's fascist. Death to all fascists, colonizers, and Nazis. Destroying the Constitution and burn America down and its capitalist system. You disagree with me and reject my worldview? Fascist. You don't want me to be armed because you think I'll kill you? You're not a true American and actually against the Constitution. 2A for all. Yeah, they'll say everything in the first 3 sections and then be like, what? You don't think I'm the same as you? You think I'll do something bad against you or advocate for your death? You're hecking against the Constitution. 2A for all. Nah. Also, then you have, just the SRA, which we've had a couple SRA members on this channel before. It says, we need to break the liberal politics around guns. Screw gun rights. Colonized people have never gun rights. We need to embrace the historical use of guns within marginalized communities. This is okay. We need to foster a culture around guns based on collaboration and community. Screw gun rights. Listen, guys, 2A for all. So they flaunt the gay kind of side of it here, where they're like, oh, we're just so inclusive. We just love everyone. We think that we all should be inclusive towards one another. And then it's like, oh, you hold the wrong opinion. I hope you get shot. These people are evil, right? Lie to your face while stabbing you in the back. All right, next up. The world's ugliest optic. Mark for 5s. Actually, no, we're going to go over to... Actually, no, did we get Ko-Fi? I forget if we got Ko-Fi or not. Let me see. Gideon Young over on Ko-Fi says, can't make the stream tonight. Have to wake up early and go rucking with the boys. Mega based. Celebrated my first Glocktober yesterday and got a Glock 17 Gen 5, very based as well. I was hoping to find a 17L, but they were out at all of their stores. Can't wait to catch the VOD. Grace and peace, brother. Well, thank you, Gideon. I hope you have a great ruck tomorrow with the boys and enjoy your limited edition legacy Glock 17 Gen 5. You were saying something, Richard? No? All right, fair enough. Mark for 5 says...
I pinned a couple of things in the side chat. I didn't know if you wanted to actually go over some of the stuff at the Pima Pistol Club. It actually seems like it's a pretty decent club.
I mean, if you live in the Tucson area, check it out, Pima Pistol Club. And it's just a generic pistol club now with 70% less leftists. It's like, that sounds like good marketing to me, bro.
$20 a day for non-members. That's really
Normal.
good.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, I just buy membership. Just buy membership. All right. Just get it. All right. Let me see here, sir. I have a little bit of news while I'm reading out these super chats for you guys. I have the my minions work incredibly fast. They put their fingers to the bone, making a new Discord for you guys. So that new Discord invite is in chat. Third time's the charm, okay? Third time's the charm. We'll see how long that one lasts. But new Discord is at the chat. All right. Mark for 5 says, I built my own version of the What Would Stoner Do and love it. Karl would think it's an abomination. Well, that's not. If Karl thinks it's an abomination, then it's probably good, right? Needs a pin and weld to be, well, still doing them, John? I am still doing them, Mark. And for you, I would do it for free. So you just need to message me and I do it for free. I don't love doing them, but I did one today. So if you want it done, I can get it done for you. Thanks, Mark. Andy Cody for 10 says, I had one of the first Rival S dark sides in USA. The gun was mismachined and out of spec. Canic replaced the gun, case, holster, everything, took very good care of me when my Walther SF had problems. ... Yeah, so the early Rivals were known for problems, just known for problems. Now, like 6 years after launch, they're pretty much sorted, right? So you can get a brand new one for like $750, $725, somewhere in that range, but for $450, absolute steal. And again, it's not as nice as the Walthers, but it's giving you basically the same generic gun. Thank you, Andy Cody. Appreciate that, sir. Lightsport for 2 says he looks like Indiana Jones after he got AIDS. Very possible. All right. What the heck is going on here? I'm getting a million notifications from the other server. There we go. Oh my gosh, that was painful. They just continue to go off forever. Wow, okay. Thank you, the lights. We appreciate that. Dr. Fuzzy for 2 says, Karl face in stream is making me want to close YouTube. Well, that is actually not surprising at all. Thank you, Dr. Fuzzy. Noob Actual for 5 says, glad to make it to the stream. I just got done editing my first video in a while. Good to see y'all, John and Richard. Well, hey, send me the link when you get it done, man. I'd be happy to take a look at that for you. Thanks, Noob. Appreciate it, sir. Hope it goes well. Negative 30 Degree Nightmare says he deleted my mildly critical but tame comment. That does not shock me at all. If you let them bully you out of positions of power, they will replace you with pro-tranny guys who will ban you for having normal beliefs. Well, that's the thing. Their inclusivity excludes anyone who disagrees with them because you're not inclusive enough, so we must remove you from the group. Keep it like that's always the case. Anybody who says anything about universalism or inclusivity, if you say anything against them, they will remove you from the group. It is a facade. It is faux niceness. It's supposed to sound nice to trick retards into thinking that it's actually meaningful in some way, but it's just a inversion of the truth. And it means what they're saying, they're just lying to you. Whatever they're saying, they mean the opposite. And thank you, Negative 30 Degree Nightmare. Appreciate that, sir. Derek's Horsecom Collection for 2 says, that's my man right there. Unbelievable. Thank you for that. Appreciate that, sir. Vintage Welfare for 5 says, I'm gonna grape Kool-Aid. I like grape. You know, I know I'm known for being on nap at time, but I like grape Kool-Aid. Cuxarda can't believe we share a state. I'm sorry about that, Mr. Welfare. Speaking of welfare, we are going to get to the welfare, can I say chimp event? Level 1 chimp event is happening with the welfare situation. It's happening soon. That should be fun. Think of that.
I just need to know if you buy your grape Kool-Aid in 40-pound boxes.
40-pound box of grape. Let me tell you something. Polly B for 5 says, Karl's face, skin, and countenance are undiluted seed oils and IPA. Rosy cheeks and hard burns despite hard headwear and probably sunscreen. Well, I mean, there's lots of things.
He's also a ginger, isn't he?
There's lots of things coming with the territory. Let's just say that, okay? Lots of things coming with the territory. Thank you, Polly B. I appreciate it, man.
Do not come.
I don't know if he's ginger or not. It would solve a few questions. Tiguido for 2 says, preparedness, first aid, homies, neighbors, rosary. That's yeah. I don't know what else you would need than that, other than a church and a pope that's a little more based. But I'm just kidding with my Catholic bros in the chat. Right, calm down. Aaron Keenar for 2 says PSI is gone from X or he blocked me. His X is gone, his Facebook is gone, his Instagram is gone, his website is gone. I wonder what could have happened. What happened? All of his stuff is just gone from the internet. Almost like it was all incriminating evidence in a court case. Strange. Thank you, Aaron. Who could have supported such an endeavor? Could it be you? Huge Ass for 5 says Karl looks like the gayest Shaolin monk in Mortal Kombat. Specifically the gayest one. He is the gayest one. He's over there. That's Karl the Cuck. He likes to sit in the corner. He's the gay one. Vandalay for 2 says Ben should trademark Logic. Ben should try, because that would be funny.
Until you admit I invented Logic.
See, you said Ben, and you meant Ben Steger, but I thought of Ben Shapiro because of his PFP that's been popping up in stream. All right, both of those would be funny. I think Ben Shapiro and Ben Steger run a Logic off. Thank you, Vandalay. Andrew Webb for 2 says Satanist Karl deserves a visit from Saint Michael. Listen, I mean, you have to hope and pray for the redemption in others as you hope and pray for the redemption in yourself, right? So I think that you should pray for those that need it the most, and Karl seems to be the one that needs it the most. Thank you, Andrew Webb. I appreciate it, man. Kim Jong-un, I love thick girls and nukes. Who doesn't, right? I literally have a goal set up to nuke a random country in the Middle East. You know which one. I love Glock. I bet you do. Or should I say, I love Glock. Thank you, Kim Jong-un. Appreciate it, sir. Ethan from Texas for 5 says, I want to use this guy's hat as a toilet. Richard, ears, please. Framboys is good and based beer. All right. Beer guys talking about beer. Ridiculous for 2 says, went to Desert Brutality 2018 and met Karl. To be honest, the match was not bad. I know lots of people who have gone to Brutality style matches and they have a great time. All right. I know people enjoy them. I know that they're fun because they're more interactive and they have a lower focus on actually shooting, right? So people who aren't very good at shooting can actually place higher up if they're like generically athletic. So if you're really interested in being good at shooting, a Brutality match isn't going to expose that. It's like one shot on steel, do a burpee. It's like, that's it. It's nothing, right? If you're athletic, you're just going to be better than if you're like a top level shooter. Not interesting to me. Thank you, Ridiculous. Kim Jong-un, I love thick girls and nukes for 5 says GunTubers pooping on Glock would be the first to cop a plea so that the state wouldn't bankrupt them, but they expect Glock to go bankrupt. So I understand that side of the equation because I think Glock was actually getting sued in more states than I originally thought. I think it was 16 states, if I'm not incorrect. I think Glock was getting sued in a variety of manners in 16 different states, and some of them successfully, right? So them dropping the Gen 5, although very annoying, it's terribly annoying that they dropped the Gen 5 fall pressure in that way, and then bring out the Gen V. It does probably make long-term financial sense for them. It probably does. Thank you, Kim Jong-un. Appreciate it, sir. Sabardic Psycho for 2 says, oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Thank you, Sabardic. Everyday American for 2 says, I post worse things in Instagram comments. I hope so. I hope you're one of those guys who makes Instagram what it is. All right. I appreciate that, Everyday American. Kim Jong-un, I love thick girls and nukes for 5 says, Bernie Sanders just endorsed a Karl type in Maine to be the next senator. No joke, full-on communist. I mean, have you seen who the mayor of New York is now? Like, he literally got elected based off of foreign-born New Yorkers. People who are not even American. Thank you, Kim Jong-un. Appreciate it. Liberty or Death 556 for 5 says, dude, WF is going on with men being so sensitive now. And let's just explode stuff up and protect our own and make stupid jokes. Weak minds kill a nation. Well, see, I'm not sure who you're really referencing there, because a lot of people bring that criticism against us as well for even talking about stuff like this. They're like, you're talking about something that somebody else said? Go get a real job, sonny. Huh. Well, get a Mexican to mow my lawn. And I don't have any inheritance for my children. You know what I'm saying? But no, I mean, you should be able to talk to one another and make fun of one another, and you should be able to deal with that without resorting to violence. Although I get the death threats on the daily from people who don't like some of the words that I say, so maybe that side should thicken up its skin, so to speak. Thank you, Liberty or Death 556. Huge ass for 5 says I ain't reading all that.
Death threats in a while.
Well, Richard, I think that you don't have a face to put the hate towards. So, and if they saw your face, they wouldn't hate you anymore, would they? Huge ass for
No,
5
'cause
says
they would
I
know
ain't
that.
reading all that. That's a lot of words. Too bad I ain't reading them. I think I still have that clip somewhere. I might have gotten rid of it though, because we never used it. I think it's gone. It's gone. That's fine. Thank you, Huge Ass. Appreciate it. Ridiculous for 2 says Jared AF said the slides might be 2-piece like the 17L. That sounds interesting. So maybe we'll check that out at some point in the future. Thank you, Ridiculous. Appreciate it, sir. Kim Jong-un, I love thick girls and nukes, but who doesn't? For 5 says the Constitution isn't a sue-a side pact. I don't have to let my enemies use it or use it against me. Well, that's the thing they always say. They're like, but the Constitution tells me. They only ever use the Constitution as a weapon against you. They don't actually care what it says, what it means, what the intent of the founders was. They don't care about that at all. It is only a weapon to use against you and then throw away at the earliest possible convenience. Like, imagine this scenario, okay? So you have the American Constitution in, let's say, 1805. And then somebody from Zimbabwe comes over and they're like, actually, you have to give me all these rights and whatnot, right? They would just be laughed out. They'd be like, no, we don't. Get out of here. You're going home. You're never coming here again. Or worse to that person, right? So no, you just never allow these people to push their worldview upon you. It's nonsense. Thank you, Kim Jong-un. Art Vandalay for 2 says, give me a trigger warning for that EOTech. Jeez, yeah, it's not only is it ugly, but it's almost certainly AI generated. Thank you, Art Vandalay. Aaron Keenar for 5 says, Trench is gay, not because of the butt stuff, but because of that haircut and the butt stuff. Hop is it lesbian girl's gym teacher. Yeah. Hop is your average lesbian PE teacher. True. Has that build going on for him. Thank you for that. Coppertone for 2 says ginger is R word. True. What's up, my ginger? Axe to Grind for 5. Just want to say that I love white people so much. Who's with me? White people, my favorite people. What's wrong with white people? Thanks, Axe to Grind. Rad's Arms for 2 says, bet that hat smells like a witch's ass. Well, I hope to never learn what it smells like. I hope that is a horror that I am saved from through the kindness of divine intervention. Noob Actual for 2 says, just sent the link to your Insta. Thank you, man. I saw that. I will check it out. Over on Ko-Fi, Sabardic Psycho says, Karl is one evil-looking SOB. Look at his eyes. His soul is corrupted. Karl, seek Christ. Sad. Thank you, Sabardic Psycho. Appreciate that, sir. All right, and I think that's... Okay. Now, we can finally... Okay, we're talking about EOTech now. We're on from one horror into the next. We have... Where did I put it? The EOTech EXPS 3 HD. And damn, is it ugly. So they went ahead and they were like, we're going to finally, after 20 years, innovate, quote unquote, our product to give it what the people actually asked for. Kind of. So we have a completely redesigned body with a much stronger hull. That is one thing that I will say is the outside exterior is now one-piece aluminum. And rather than having the battery tray and compartments made out of polymer, it appears that everything is now aluminum rather than aluminum and plastic, which I actually like. However, they made it much more angular, and now it looks like a sight mark or like a Temu knockoff of itself because the angles look hideous, in my opinion. I think that the new angles make it look yucky. All right, so the EXPS 3 HD advances EOTech's legacy of holographic excellence, being the only fish in the game, integrating a side rotary dial, which, as you can see, it looks like the dimensions are just off. And we'll get into that in just a second. Adaptive auto brightness, that's interesting. Rapid activation shake awake. Okay, so now we have auto on, auto off technology. Kind of cool, right? People were asking for that. Didn't improve battery life, but they did give us auto on, auto off, which will extend battery life mechanically, right? A durable all aluminum housing, which is an upgrade in my opinion. EOTech's proven reliability and performance remain at the core of the EXPS3 HD. Now, with enhanced functionality and design, it delivers the same fast, both eyes open engagement, blah, 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 blah. The new side rotary dial is compatible with magnifiers. Yep, actually, that's nice. It's not at the back of the optic on some of them. The new left 1.7. Okay, the new center line of the EXPS3 HD is 7.4, which is very comfy. No risers needed. And the approved legend object is your answer. Sure. Now, unfortunately, so battery life is rated for 1,000 hours at daylight setting 4. They have reduced your overall settings from 30 to 12. So you now only have 7 daylight settings, 4 night vision settings, and 1 auto brightness setting. So you have 12 in total. The problem is on old EOTechs, you had 10 night vision settings and a night vision lockout button, which is really nice. That means that you can really fine tune how bright that dot is or how dim that dot is, more likely, right? So you can always have an appropriate brightness setting for your night vision stuff. Now they have removed a lot of your daylight settings, 13 of them, and they've removed 6 of your night vision settings. So they've given you even less options, probably because you can only fit 12 spots on a rotary dial. That would be my guess. And then you have 1 auto brightness setting. Now, all that being said, you still probably have more than enough night vision settings to actually make it work. 4 is perfectly fine. I think you have 4 on the SIG Romeo 8T. On the some other night vision optics, you have like 3 settings. So I think 4 is still enough. However, they definitely reduce the amount of total variability you have in your brightness options, which is one thing that EOTech did really, really well. Now, the auto brightness setting, it's all right. I would probably never use it, but it's an EOTech, so it's something, I guess. Now, in terms of your sleep mode, you have 10 minutes, 1 hour, 12 hour, or disabled with shake awake technology. So you can still have your auto off, no auto on, or you can have a shake awake feature, right? So if it's a bedside gun and you grab it in the middle of the night, in theory, it should turn right back on. Now, another problem with it, as I see that super chat come in every day, it's the MSRP is $1,000, or the map, sorry, is like 1,000. It's like $969 or something like that. I'm pretty sure the map minimum advertised price is $1,000. So they've made it uglier. They gave you a rotary dial with shake awake. That's kind of nice, right? And they've made it 50% more expensive, which is not particularly exciting. As I think, let me see if I think somebody posted the full price. Let me see. It's somewhere around here. Let me see if I can find it. If somebody posted the actual price of it. I don't think somebody posted the actual price, but I remember seeing the MSRP or the map being around like $1,000, like $950, $960. Okay, $955. EXPS3, this one that we're looking at right now, map of $955. So you're looking at $1,000, $1,000 or 2 4XT Pros, or almost 3 at that price, right? So it's very, very spendy. And the Holosun Ames, which is also pretty good in that same ballpark, is like what, 300, 350, something like that. Not that expensive. Now, one problem with the EOTech stuff, though, is that it appears to be AI upscaled, because as you can see, this is from Zed Tactical, you can see that the logo is just botched like an AI upscaler would do, and you can see the dial itself is just off, and the lettering is just off, right? This looks like an AI upscaler tried to fix a really low res image, and it just completely failed. It just completely failed. So like you tried, and it didn't really work. So a little oops. Little oopsie on there for a $1,000 optic. Again, map of 955. Now, a couple other little updates to the EOTech lineup. Sorry, is you now have the eFlex CE, which I think has a map of 455. So they made it much more expensive. It is now enclosed, kind of like your Hollow Sun EPS. So now you can get an American EPS, kind of. It looks very similar to something like the I forget what they call this. I think they call this the CV Life Wildhawk, which this is a $150 Chinesium optic. Looks very, very similar to this, right? But now you have a $500 EOTech eFlex CE, going to be competing with the Sig Romeo X, probably the Vortex Defender enclosed, and they're made in, where are these made? Does it say? No, doesn't say. I'm pretty sure the big one is made in the US, but the eFlex, I'm actually not sure if those are made in the US. I think those still might be made overseas. So it might be one of the most expensive Chinesium products on the market for $455. Nothing particularly special. You got a battery tray hanging off the back. You got batteries on top, or sorry, buttons on top for everything. It's not all that exciting. Now, the Voodoo, this is another quick update on the 3 to 9, their mini ACOG looking thingamajig. They did finally update the reticles, because the reticle on the 3 to 9, the only option that they had available for a long time, was just this reticle here, which had a 4 MOA center dot, the reticle on the left. Now they finally decided to update it and come out with the package 2 and package 3, which have real usable reticles that can actually do more things. Because the reticle that's currently in the 3 to 9 Voodoo sucks. I like the form factor, but the reticle sucks. So now they have a new usable reticle, which is the package 2, the MR-5, which is the only one that I would buy. I would only ever buy the MR-5. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else is even useful. So, I mean, that one there, you have a 0.2 mil optic, or a 0.2 mil, which is like a 0.6 MOA at 9x, which is way more precise and actually usable. Love the form factor of the thing. It looks horrible, but I like the form factor of it. It's lightweight. It kind of does the ACOG plus things, and they finally came out with a reticle that didn't suck. The new reticle, the MR-5, actually looks okay, and that is something that I would buy, possibly. Chudvane it says, when did EOTech go from Kino to absolute trash for aesthetics? The most important category. That's a really good point. Really good point. I just think they're kind of gaytards. Gaytards. Although, to be fair, this is one that I would buy. So if the MR-5 came out and in a reasonable time frame, I would pick one up, because I think it is an interesting form factor, if nothing else. All right. Let me refresh this page real fast. All right, perfect. Everyday American for 5 says, for the low price of $1,200, can't even put multiple reticles. Well, I don't know how much I like multiple reticles, but if I had to guess, with it being EOTech, they will come out with the multiple dot variations and the different, CQBR, whatever reticles that they come out with. So I imagine eventually they will have different reticle options, but not switchable reticles, because that's not how EOTechs work. That's not how most holographic sites work, right? And the battery life is still 1,000 hours, by the way. Thank you, Everyday American. Ray Holocaust for 2 says, Cuckoo Karl and the Cuck Sarda kvetching constantly. That's pretty good. Thank you, Ray Holocaust. Appreciate that. Moonman for 5 says, the Vortex UH1 and a EOTech had a baby, and it's hideous. Yeah, it is a abomination, and they're going to have to hide it away like a Hunchback of Notre Dame. All right. Wow. Okay. We are not getting any good luck here, gentlemen. I apologize. Well, how about the Surefire RC4 skin? We have now unclipped suppressors. Are you guys excited? At your
the suppressor is.
unclipped suppressor. I mean, obviously, you know, it's less painful on the suppressors and the machinists that have to perform these horrific operations, but we have the RC4 right after the RC3 launched last year, and not that long ago. So I wonder if they just straight up sucked, and they were like, you know what, the RC3, we reduced the back pressure, but damn, does that thing flash like all the time, horribly. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna leave the RC4 skin on and put a internal flash hider on it. So yeah, I
have
hope
a
that it
question.
actually reduces flash. Go ahead.
Do they make a version for Jewish rabbis?
No, actually, from what I've heard, actually, they had to get this by their APAC representatives because they were
Oh, the
very
kosher
upset that
council?
they were very upset that they left the foreskin on. And for the Israeli contracts, I have just gotten word that they are going to be clipping the suppressors for the Israeli IDF contract. So these will be the American Western versions. However, for the IDF, they will be getting clipped suppressors. All right. Somebody clip that. All right. Let me see here. Yeah, so what do we got? So the normal one, the RC4 skin, is 6.3 inches, which is some would say above average. All right. 1.5 inch diameter suppressor, so very similar to what we've seen before. Weight of 17 ounces, which for a hard use can, which is, you know, why that foreskin is there. It's really to help protect the end cap from damage. You know, you want to leave that there. 17 ounces for a little bit of extra foreskin. And then the mini is 5.5 inches, which some would say is still, you know, very well proportioned. Only 14.5 ounces and still retains its foreskin. Now, very importantly, these aren't meant to be like, what's the right word? These aren't meant to be the quietest cans out there. These are duty cans, which means that they are to reduce signature. The biggest part of signature, especially at night, is flash, not sound. So unsuppressed 160 decibels. Now, of course, decibels are logarithmic, so a increase in an increase in 3 is a doubling or something like that. However that works. You guys know math better than I do. With the standard RC foreskin, you have 139 decibels, and with the RC foreskin, or the mini foreskin, sorry, you get 142 decibels. Now you can see the back pressure is about double with the RC4, which actually is not terrible, and about 70% more with the mini foreskin, which means that these are still reduced back pressure cans, not full back pressure cans, not a flow through style, but not reduced, but not full back pressure like a lot of other cans, not like the RC2 or some of the other cans out there. So they are reduced back pressure, and hopefully they figured out a way to minimize the flash by flashing you its foreskin. And these are allegedly on a Mark 18, so we're talking about a 10.5 inch, 10.3 inch barrel with M855, right? So if these pictures are to be believed, then the flash signature reduction is pretty darn good, especially for, you know, average size cans, let's say. All right, let me get out of this real fast. And yeah, so I mean, they're essentially like, I don't know if they have a mini flash hider on the inside of it, but they have it shrouded and something to redirect those gases to make sure that they don't pop like they did before.
They have
Many such cases. They leave the tip on the inside of the foreskin. That's why they have the foreskin on there, to protect it, I'd have to guess. Okay, this anti-Semitism is getting out of hand. True. It's ugly. It's ugly. The SOCOM foreskin. RC foreskin coming to store shelves soon. Let me get the price for you. I think it's $1,500. It is not cheap. Yes, so the map for the RC foreskin is $1,472. $1,472. Quite expensive for the RC foreskin. And I wonder if this will replace the RC3, because the RC3 has only been out for, what, a year at most? And they've already replaced it or updated it with the RC4 skin. And again, I think it mostly had to do with the fact that while they did manage to have a very durable can that had a low back pressure, I think the flash signature just sucked on the RC3 in certain conditions. So, yeah, not 1488, 1472. Okay, so not to get everybody excited, but not 1488, 1472 on that. All right, Moonman for 5 says, I hate the future. Everything is stubby and ugly. Usually FDE vomit colors. I will commit acts of Minecraft for this. Stubby, you say. I think 6.5 inches is not stubby, sir. I think that's huge, some would say, right? All right, let's get it clear here. Thank you, Moonman. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a good night. Liberty or Death 556 says, I meant it towards Karl and his quote-unquote offensive jokes. Yeah, I figured as much, but we get a lot of the same people like complaining about us for stuff like that, and it's like, whatever, man. Whatever. Thank you, Liberty or Death. I appreciate it, man. Coppertone for 2 says, going to buy another RC2 out of spite. Yeah, again, you know what's funny is the RC2 is going to do everything that this one does, except for have reduced back pressure. So if you're fine with the back pressure and you have a way to mitigate it, then the RC2 is going to do everything these do and probably be slightly more effective. But it's, again, a lot of these contracts, they're moving towards reduced back pressure, and that's a requirement now for these systems. So SOCOM's just going along with it. And their methodology is to, to unclip them. Thank you, Coppertone. Appreciate it, sir. Chudvade for 5 says, he began to read one of my normal chats like a super chat. So here's a super chat. Well, thank you, Chudvade. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, no, it's I get into that brain where I pull up the chat and I'm just like, autopilot kicks in. So thank you, Chudvade. Appreciate it, sir. Huge Ass for 2 says, RC4, the unkosher can. True. Oh, no. The Lightspore for 2 says, Richard, punished focus PFP in the Discord. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm working on it right now.
A punished focus exists? Oh, dear.
It was
Oh,
sent to
dear.
me. I'm working on it.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you, the Lightspore. Appreciate that. Whatever horrifying construct you have made for me to witness. Moonman for 5 says the rabbi version has perforations so that they can bite it off. Yeah, I wonder if the IDF cans come pre-syphilis, or if that's something they work on later on. Thank you, Moonman. Appreciate that. Mitzvot for 2 says, Chud McGill says hi. Also, VI. N. Hello, Chud. Hope you're having a good night. Zadie for 5 says, maybe the foreskin can be milled off. Yes, some of you guys are going to... Maybe you guys should actually just take the foreskin and weld it back on to an RC2. Have you guys thought about that? Maybe you can weld it back on. Thank you, Zandico. Yeah, untransition. An Axegrind for 2 says, reclaim your foreskin. That's true. Hey, listen, for the price of $1,400, like, that's actually pretty cheap for getting your foreskin back. Okay? Thank you, an Axegrind. Patches O'Hula for 5. Oh, dude, we actually just watched, me and my wife watched Dodgeball last night before. I'd never seen it before. It was quite entertaining. Wacky and, of course, very Hollywood coded, but mildly entertaining. Thank you, Patches O'Hulan for 5 says, India, random Middle Eastern country. Which one would you drastically alter the topography of? YouTube doesn't like me saying nuke. Well, you got it through there somehow. They don't like you saying nuke. You can use nuke in any sort of context. It's not saying you wish a nuclear holocaust upon a specific country in the Middle East. It's problematic for the rest of the world. But, I mean, if it was, Thank you, Patches. Appreciate it, sir. Moonman for 5 says, Richard Tito, if you change it to something else, I will send you something cursed that Oh My, or maybe Dishka on Discord, taught me about instead. No, Oh My and Dishka, today I learned stuff that I did not want to learn about certain things that were in my possession that I thought, were relatively innocent. They turned out not to be due to context that was shared to me by Dishka and Oh My. Thank you very much for that, Moonman.
You
Don't
might
spend...
as well share the class.
I'm not, absolutely not, never happening. Didn't happen. It's not real. Mitzvot for 2 says secondary air induction would kill Flash better. I listen, Mitzvot, if I'm not a engineer in any way, shape, or form. If you want to do the flow calculations on how to reduce flash, I mean, maybe Surefire is hiring. I know some other companies are hiring for suppressor manufacturers, or engineers, right? Is that punished focus? That's not punished focus. Oh, that's tragically funny. Tragically funny. Thank you for that, Mitzvot. Thank you, sir. Zach Winklepleck for 2 says, developed in part by RFK Jr. We're going to weld the skin back on. The worm in my brain told me to do this.
I just want to know how much tequila you have to drink to get the worm to develop in your brain instead of the bottle.
A lot. That man's seen some things, okay? Moonman for 5 says, maybe I am a retard, but I have one of those big fat Russian can things that is loud AF, but has like no flash, and I like it. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you're like, I always wear hearing protection. So even if it just knocks it down like 15, 20 decibels, that's all you need because you're already wearing hearing protection. It's going to save your hearing for the rest of your life. And if it has good flash reduction, you can actually shoot it. Like on some of my guns, a mini 5.56 can has enough flash reduction on it with, depending on what ammo you're using, to be very appropriate at night. And it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. And I don't get caught up in decibels or something like that because that's all nonsense as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, Moonman. Tarkay for 5 says, left turds do the guns, equal peen stuff enough. Do we have to as well? It's odd. So are Huxworks cans and most of Zafari's catalog, meh. Well, are we talking about the flow through aspect of it, or the conical shape of them? I think this just obviously looks like foreskin, right? And it's also the RC4, so the RC4 skin, it just flows, right? You can't deny that. And it's not, I didn't design the can. Don't get mad at me for pointing it out. Huge Ass for 2 says, foreskin. I've got a 5 skin, bro. I've got an upgraded model. I had to pay more for that. Thank you, Huge Ass. Appreciate it. Should be called Huge Foreskin. DF88 for 2. That was a great boss in, what was that? A Nintendo 64 game where you played as that bounty hunter Han Solo knockoff and you had to take out DF88 on that trash world. Dude, you start off... I'm gonna have to find that out. It was literally like a Han knockoff on the Nintendo 64. Now, I'm going to have to find this now. Nintendo 64 Star Wars games. Shadows of the Empire. There it is. Which is funny. I still have Shadow of the Empire on my Nintendo 64 at my parents' house. Great game. And by great game, probably okay for the times. Would I recommend playing it now? It probably doesn't quite hold up the same way, Probably not the same. There we go. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire went hard on Nintendo 64. Thank you, DF88. Ridiculous for 2 says, your uncensored thoughts on the Acro P2 for carry and comp. I would never use one for competition, ever. For the price of the Acro P2, you can quite literally get a HoloSun 507 comp and a HoloSun EPS. Both will serve you better in both roles and cost the exact same amount of money. So no, like in a competition, I don't know why I would ever give myself a smaller window. And for carry, I don't know why I would ever give myself worse battery life. And the 509, or not the 509, the Acro footprint, right? Which I think is a worse footprint. You can't really direct mount that to anything unless it's cut specifically for that. Whereas the EPS, you can, or even the SCS, you can get them basically for any footprint that's out there, right? So for me, I would buy 2 red dots, and unless it's going on the same gun, which if you're using your carry gun in competition, that's fine, but maybe an EPS is a better way to go. I would still probably take an EPS over a Acro, honestly. Thank you, Ridiculous. Appreciate it, sir. Bitspot for 2 says, opening at the back and pull air towards the muzzle. Simple. Okay, so we're talking about like it would pull fresh air in from the back due to the pressure coming out of the front, right? So you'd have to have like a sleeve on the outside, like an open sleeve on the outside, that as the pressure is coming out the front, it would pull air in from the back as well. I mean, I'm sure they're aware of solutions like this, but then you have to think of size, weight, and construction. But I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure there's ways to reduce flash drastically. But now we're talking about extra size and weight and whatnot. Interesting though, interesting concept for sure. And as you're probably much more aware of what would make it better than me. Delta 34, hope you're having a good night, sir. For 5 says, new movie recommendation for your queue, Boondock Saints. I haven't seen Boondock Saints. That's Willem Dafoe and a few other fellas, right?
It's an excellent movie. If you have not seen it, I
have not.
I cannot recommend it strongly enough. It is
Fine.
great.
Boondock Saints. All right, I'll put it on the list. Sequel is not equal.
No, the sequel sucks.
Oh, okay. Well, I will take a look at it. I will.
As far as
100%
I'm
take a look at
concerned,
that.
there wasn't even a sequel.
It didn't happen. It's like Pacific Rim, right? You wish they would have made a sequel for it, but they never did. Tragic. Overrated. It's good. Good. Kind of gay. I mean, it's Hollywood. Everything in Hollywood is kind of gay. Let's be real. All right.
So it is the definition of a cult classic.
All right. You know what else is not a cult classic? So the government is still shut down as of now. Let me see. When does EBT run out? Help me out, AI. Run out. So I think, yeah, so November. So next month, in 10 days, EBT is going to be running out for approximately 42 million people, at least partially or in full, some of them. And some of the people of the EBT card are less than happy. Now, as some of you may or may not know, I started off my work career at 16 years old in a grocery store, as everybody should. Local grocery store in town, just a little store. And we would have people come through and they'd be, nice families and whatnot. But then we'd have these guys that would come in and just absolutely load up on the worst junk imaginable. We're talking about like 24, 48 packs of soda, 10 bags of chips, and they would put like $400 worth of food, quote unquote food, in their carts. However, most of this food was like not real food, and $400 at a local grocery store, that's expensive. Like no one in their right mind would actually do that. But then they would pull out their EBT card and pay for it all. And it's like, really? Really? And I'm not even saying people who are on EBT, all of them should be ashamed of it or whatnot. I think that having a social fallback system is not the worst thing in the world for certain people, and people have needed it at certain times in their life. People have paid into the system. So if they lose their job at no fault of their own and they get to feed their family for a couple months or something after that while they're looking for a new job, that's all well and good. I'm not going to be all bleeding heart about that. However, the system is obviously just abused by certain people of size and people of the card for very nefarious purposes, and they are going to tell you exactly what they think of you, American taxpayer, if you do not continue to fund their EBT lifestyle.
So white people in general, I'm tired of you motherfuckers. I'm tired of your incompetence. I'm tired of your laziness. I'm tired of you not washing your ass on a regular fucking basis, and then we have to be susceptible to that shit. I'm tired of you having babies on fucking leashes. I'm tired of seeing babies that's 13 years old in a fucking stroller because you just want to give them the fuck.
But do those babies know who their father is? That's the real question. That's the real question.
Fucking world. Or, oh, Billy doesn't want to walk, so we just gonna like have his feet dragging on the fucking ground.
These
I'm
big
tired
ass
of
babies.
Big ass babies.
Breastfeeding a baby
tired-
that can chew steak.
Exactly. I'm tired of y'all raising and birthing and raising serial killers, pedophiles, mass shooters, and all this, and then you tell black people that we're violent. Everything about violence, we.
Do you think it's possible to explain per capita to certain people? Like, because some people be like, listen, man, look, if you look at the stats, white people commit 4 times as much violence as black people. Oh, shit, man. You're like, well, yeah, right. But anyways, well, look at the population difference between the two. So if you're 13% of the population, yet commit 26% of all EBT not contributions, but 26% of all EBT costs, right? I think you're a little overrepresented as your waistline is in the jeans section, right? a little overrepresented.
Bigger number, better thing. Smaller number, better thing.
Yeah, and it's like, imagine complaining that a family member is like taking care of their child or like treating their child nicely. Couldn't be me, I guess. Damn.
There are some suburbanites who do keep their kids on leashes that should probably have them muzzled as well, but that's for a different story.
Well, like I totally get the concept of there are some people out there that absolutely coddle their children for way too long, right? And they kind of turn into brats and they spoil them. 100% that happens. But listen, there's the bratty side of things, which is like, okay, that's a problematic. We need to fix that. But then there's the other side of things, you know, that's a little bit more problematic. That's my word, all right?
So white people in general, I'm tired of you motherfuckers. I'm tired of your incompetence. I'm tired of your laziness. I'm tired of you not washing your ass on a regular fucking basis. And then we have to be susceptible to that shit. I'm tired of you having babies on fucking leashes. I'm tired of seeing babies that's 13 years old in a fucking stroller because you just want to give them the fucking world. Or, oh, Billy doesn't want to walk, so we just gonna like have his feet dragging on the fucking ground.
These big ass babies.
Big ass babies.
Breastfeeding a baby that can chew steak.
Exactly. I'm tired of y'all raising and birthing and raising serial killers.
I mean, I think the mask is just off. They just hate the fact they were having kids. You, white man, they hate you because of the color of your skin. As you're paying for all of their, EBT and food stamps and all this other stuff.
Pedophiles, mass shooters, and all this. And then you tell black people that we're violent. Everything about violence, we learned it from you.
Well, I mean, did you learn how to, perhaps the art of the wheel from us as well?
Who captured the slaves?
Well, it's not about capturing. It's about selling and transporting because they were sold by their own kind for trinkets and gunpowder to enslave and murder other of their comrades.
Derail, but did you see the recent thing where there's a story coming out of the Israel Times, I believe it was, where they were trying to lay claim to some treasure on a sunken ship?
Yes, they were at the same time attempting to deny that the slave ship was owned by Jews, but at the same time saying that the treasure aboard the slave ship was theirs.
Yeah.
Listen, okay, it's ours. But, the fact that it was a slave ship doesn't mean that it's ours, but the treasure is definitely ours, though. So, this is from Mr. Guns and Gear. This is a great clip because I think this is a view into the mind of the EBT person. EBT King is very upset about his EBT food stamps being cut unless he does 20 hours of community service or work per week. So imagine being selected for, if you want to maintain your benefits, you have to work 20 hours per week. 2.5 days for a lot of you guys out there, 2 days, right? A lot of you guys out there doing 10, 12-hour shifts, like literally 2 days of work per week to have all of your food paid for. I think most of you would take that, or actually, no, I lied. Most of you would not take that deal because you're real people. He declares, I ain't working for nobody. Get the F out of here. This is what American taxpayers work for. They work for me. I'm an effing boss. What the F do I look like working? Work for food. That's just something of generations of parasites simply comprehend. They absolutely understand the concept of us working for their food, though. That's crystal clear to them. So in his own words, in the EBT King, as Mr. Guns and Gear said.
I just woke up. I got an email from EBT. I used to get $740 a month for my 2 kids.
Whoa. All right, first off, I spend for 5 of us, me and my wife, 3 kids, 500-ish a month, roughly. Maybe 600 if we splurge a little bit. But listen, like, 7, poor choice of words. But listen, $740 a month for 3 people. That's pretty good. Like, I'm putting in a lot more steak dinners at $740 a month.
Now, what's the chances that he actually has his kids?
Well. I just woke up. I got an email from EBT. I used to get $740 a month for my 2 kids. And we not getting EBT no more. They took the
Real.
EBT. They saying I gotta work 20 hours a week. I'm not working for nobody. Get the fuck out of here. This is what Americans, taxpayer, work for us. They work for me. They gotta help me feed.
We work for him. All right. Well, you work for me, and then in turn I work for him, right? Because you guys work, pay your taxes, and then send that to me, and then I pay a lot of taxes on it, and then send it to him, right? So either way, it's all going to this guy, right? We all pay our fair share for this guy
That
to
sounds an awful lot
whine.
like slavery, though.
Shh,
Does
who
that mean
cares?
that we
They're just
can
being
now file
retards.
for reparations?
Well, again, the reparations argument is always bunk once you factor in the stolen bikes, like they actually do owe us money, okay? But yeah, this is the absolute state of what these people think about working, getting asked to work 20 hours a week for free food, $740 a month to work 20 hours a week, which is, again, 2.5 days, 2 days for a lot of you guys.
I used to get $740 a month for my 2 kids. And we not getting EBT no more. They took the EBT. They saying I gotta work 20 hours a week. I'm not working for nobody. Get the fuck out of here. This is what Americans, taxpayer, work for us. They work for me. They gotta help me feed my fucking kids. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be quitters now. Y'all been helping us all this fucking time. Now y'all want to tap out. Get the fuck out of here. I want my EBT, yo. I want my EBT, and I'm not working for nobody. I'm a fucking boss. What the fuck I look like working?
Yeah, you're a boss of what? Sitting at home and whacking it while your 2 kids don't have a mom and you don't have any like goals or ambitions other than being a SoundCloud rapper and your local crack dealer?
When the government is here to help. Come on. Y'all send all that money to Iraq, Ukraine. Y'all funding all these wars. But when it's time to help the Americans, y'all don't want to fucking help us? I need my fucking EBT, yo. I need my money, yo. I need my fucking EBT. Stop fucking playing with me, yo.
All right, now listen. If he had just listen, with a little bit of editing, I could have made this way better, right? If he led with, listen, guys, we're sending all this money to Israel, to Ukraine, to all these other places. We should be spending that on on people like me, hardworking, who have kids to feed. Like, if we had reworded this, we could have made this almost positive. But the pure lazy entitledness of it all, just demanding money from people that actually work, that actually support their family, right? And then the audacity to call yourself a king while you're begging for EBT, right? It's just a little sad. And then you posted it on X thinking this was going to be some sort of like win or own, or people are going to be like, yeah, man, you deserve it for doing what again? What is it that you do here?
Go off, King.
What is it? What is it that you actually do here or contribute to us? All right.
Can you play the last couple seconds of that one more time, real quick?
This one?
Yeah.
Ukraine, y'all funding all these wars, but when it's time to help the Americans, y'all don't want to fucking help us? I need my fucking EBT, yo. I need my money, yo. I need my fucking EBT. Stop fucking playing with me, yo.
Wow. Oh, no.
Wow.
And people are going to start, I'm telling you, this is going to be a thing. People are going to start, instead of stealing groceries from the stores, they're going to start watching people go to their cars. And they're going to take all of their groceries. And you know what the store going to do? Not our problem. Not our business. It's outside the store. They didn't do it in the store. It's not our property. Call 911. Call the authorities. Make a report. They're going to leave your ass for dead. And people are really going to be stealing people carts of groceries out of the grocery parking lot. I'm telling you. It seems like it's headed that way. Now, What other choices people gonna have to find food to eat?
Get a job.
Because people about to be out here struggling. They about to be out here bad. So do you really think they're gonna look at you with all these groceries, packing it in your car, about to go home and feed your family from the, hard-earned money that you made from working your job that afforded you the affordability to buy those groceries? They ain't gonna give a fuck. They ain't gonna care. They gonna snatch them bags up out your hand and be like, I wish you would.
Wish I would what? Careful what you wish for, woman.
And some just might lose their for it. And it ain't worth.
Yeah, so she's saying, listen, okay, some of these people, they're gonna come up on you in your parking lot. They're gonna steal the groceries from your wife, from your kids, and then they're gonna kill them if they try to stop them, because we need our food, y'all. We need our food, y'all. What are we gonna do? We gonna starve to death? Huh? Some of you gonna get it. I mean, listen, they're saying, like, listen, if we don't get our free food, if we don't get our thousands of dollars a month, a year, whatever it might be, we're just going to find your food and kill you for it. Huh. Asian Massage Review says, I'll wager 5 bags of groceries that this lady can't outrun me. Listen, if things ever do get sketchy, there should be a time where you don't let your wife go grocery shopping without you.
I'd wager 100 bags of groceries that her baby daddy can't outrun a 9.
POS says, imagine getting the fallen home from Kroger instead of the bank. I mean, listen, they need their Pop-Tarts and soda pop, right? That's you're going to die over a can of pop. Somebody's going to, right? Kinetic shopping. Yeah, you're going to have to, they're going to be robbing grocery stores and to feed their kids, right? Which, of course, you could just get a job instead of stealing and threatening people who actually work and contribute to society.
Suddenly, the guy who walks around in the Walmart parking lot collecting shopping carts with a plate carrier seems like he's the normal one.
Yeah, he's actually normal now. That's actually a good move. All right, another good one from Mr. Guns and Gear, which is a great follow on Instagram and X, of course. The amount of able-bodied parasites making videos threatening violence and other crimes if their EBT or food stamps are cut off next month may be the best thing to happen to our out-of-control wealth redistribution system that enables this entitlement mentality since Lyndon B. Johnson announced the quote-unquote war on poverty, which made much more of it. That created the very system, same like the war on drugs. It's exposing who these people really are and where the money stolen from you by the state is really going. The only thing that may be better is shining sunlight on these parasites, as if the benefits are actually shut off and they actually start committing the violence and crimes they're threatening. I'm not hoping for this, of course, but if it happens, the backlash might be enough to actually do something to stop it moving forward. Maybe. One thing's for certain, if it happens, you will not see the crimes of violence on mainstream media sites and channels. It will only be on the new media. We likely know one way or another within the next 6 weeks, but in the interim, I encourage everyone to keep sharing these videos and exposing the rot that is so endemic in 2025 America. You already know this one's going to be good just by the subject that is currently on screen. But I mean, literally, like, these people have to be bribed to not be violent. Like, they are literally telling you, if I do not get my free stuff, if I do not get whatever it might be, my entitlements, I will start killing you. Okay, so you literally pay them off to not just go on killing rampages. Not that it works very well, but you are quite literally paying them off so that they do not commit random acts of violence against you and your family, which, again, they kind of do on their own. But they're saying it's going to get worse.
Remind me after
You know
this
what?
clip, but the
Sorry, say again?
entitlement. Remind me after this clip, but the entitlement and the whole paying them off so they won't commit violent atrocities. That's been going on for centuries. That's why George Washington wanted a navy, because he was tired of the Muslims. He was tired of paying tribute to the Muslims for safe passage.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it is essentially an extortion racket, right? It sounds nice, like you're giving food stamps to people who need it, but in reality, it's you are paying violent people to not be violent against you, and as soon as that money dries up, like you are now a target, a legitimate target.
Unfortunately.
You know what? Since they want to take food stamps away, I'm going to fucking Walmart. I'm going to rack up any damn Walmart, throw this shit right in the basket. I'm coming right about that bitch. Move, get the fuck out of my way. I'm not paying for a damn thing. Y'all got me fucked up. I ain't getting a food stamp on EBT. Oh, watch this. Watch this. I'm about to, it's about to be some bullshit. It about to be some shit. I'm about to go in that bitch masked up, you hear me? Masked up, breaking every damn thing off the damn shelf, throwing that shit in the basket, walking clean about there. Well, I got me fucked up, bro. It's about to be Thanksgiving, you hear me? And Christmas coming up, and y'all gonna take away nigga EBT? Oh, nah, y'all got the game really fucked up. Y'all got the game fucked all the way up, son. Believe it. Watch this. Y'all think I'm playing? Watch this, you hear me? Watch this. Watch what I do. Watch what I do. Watch what I do. I'm gonna go in that Walmart with a basket, and I'm gonna rack all kind of shit. I'm gonna throw this shit in the basket. I'm gonna walk right about that bitch. Put this in the car. Phew, I'm out of there. I'm out of there. Gone. I'm out of there. You know what? Since they want to take.
Did any one of you guys understand that at all? Anything?
I know somebody who probably did understand it.
I want this motherfucking black ass, banana eating, chimpanzee, monkey made motherfucker on the first fucking slave ship back to motherfucking Morocco.
I think he understood it.
Something about a basket. Listen, under, right? What does it take? What does it take to be literate? Is it 75 IQ? So I mean, it's got to be under that, bro. Without the annotations there would be no intelligible words spoken whatsoever. Wow. Wow. Very nice. Thank you. Appreciate that. This one here I just find funny, of course. Please, Warner Bros. Please don't murder me for this, please.
It's a good meme.
They almost certainly will murder me for this clip, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Huge Ass for 5 says EBT should never be funded again. Obesity rates would plummet. See, I dream of a society where things like EBT would be reserved for very, very specific situations and not be abused, but that is not the world in which we live in. Thank you, Huge Ass. Appreciate that.
Yeah. We live in a world where we have extremely obese homeless people with iPhones. How? How is this a thing?
Well, I mean, altruism. Suicidal altruism.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd be able to sum it up into one word, but damn.
Yeah, suicidal altruism or suicidal empathy, whatever you want to say, is you cannot... The thought of having to do something difficult is so repulsive to so many people. Like, Richard, if somebody said, hey, you're waking up at 9 a.m. tomorrow and you're doing an 8-hour shift and you're going to get paid, $200 and you're going home, you'd be like, oh, yeah, that sounds like every day of my life. Actually, that sounds easier than a lot of days in my life. So, sure. But to these people, it's like, oh, yeah, 20 hours a week. And they're like, I'm about to kill you. What? What you say to me, huh? I'm a king. It's like, sure. All right.
Yeah, the irony of calling yourself a king and a boss while telling people they better step up with the handouts.
The man who has to call himself a king is no true king. Paulie B for 5 says government shutdown, EBT Americans most affected. True. Thank you, Paulie B. Appreciate it, sir. Space Cowboy for 2. My day job will be so much nicer come November. Yeah, if you work in a department store, bro, or I think I know where you work, but I don't want to talk to you. Yeah, it'll be a little better, okay? Or way worse, actually. Early November might be way worse.
Say November?
November might be worse. Way worse.
Yeah, late November especially.
Thank you, Space Cowboy. Parquet for 2 says, how long until the CV Life review? Amazon tempts me. Well, actually, Tarkay, if you go to the gun.deals channel, this site has already been reviewed on there. So you can go over there and check it out. It's just the gun.deals channel. Thank you, Tarkay. Appreciate it. That's where all my reviews go, basically. McLeod 2486 for 2 says she bleaches chicken and doesn't change batteries. many such cases. I don't even wash my chicken. Thank you, McLeod. Mark II Mod 1 for 5 says, I worked at a gas station through college. Can confirm EBT is mostly used to buy candy by people also buying Newports. Hope they all go on a diet plan. Unironically, though, cutting EBT down to 0 or like down by 90% might be the most impactful to the health crisis in America. Like, quite literally. If RFK actually wants to reduce obesity in America, reduce EBT by 90% or remove it altogether.
Unfortunately, people will just walk into hospitals at that point in time and use the ER to get, free food, free medication.
But that's way more difficult than walking into Walmart and buying $700 worth of chips.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to buy it at this point. Dude just said he's just going to walk out with it.
I think some will, but if you cramp down on the violence, then you will force people to adapt. Thank you, Mark II Mod 1. Dude, I'm very fortunate I never worked at a gas station. Grocery stores, department stores, never at a gas station. Retail was never my thing. Yeah, dude.
They are the worst, especially if you're second or third shift.
In college, actually, I was in an apartment just across from the college, but across from us, there was a department store, and somebody got murdered during a robbery there. One of the gas station attendants, like just right across from me. It's tragic.
Yeah. I worked at
Very
two
tragic.
separate gas stations, one of which was small mom and pop owned. They didn't care that I carried. The other one was massive corporate, worldwide ownership, and they had a policy explicitly prohibiting carrying. They said that I'm supposed to comply 100% with robbers, give them everything, and then some, make them feel welcomed, offer them something to drink if they want it. I said no, them in the face. And after that, the manager didn't see eye to eye with me.
And Axe Rider for 2 says, watch Harley Davidson and the Marble Man 10 out of 10. Okay. Harley Davidson and the Marble Man. Thank you, Axe Grind. Pauly B for 2 has a disturbed face, which is, I think, what we all have after that last one. Thank you, Pauly B. Huge Ass for 5 says, Chocolate Jabba the Hutt needs to do some cardio and get a job. They're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? It's like, well, close your legs, get a job. Thank you, Huge Ass. Appreciate it.
Too much in the middle.
Just Some Space Cowboy for 5 says, insert the they hate us because they ain't us clip here. Well, I mean, you see what they think of you, right? You are to them a money tree. The money grows on you, and then they take it from you, and then they use it for whatever they want to use it for. Now, speaking of that, we have another clip on this. Coppertone32 for 2 says, EBT ends, but VA Bennies stay up. Get bent, individual. Thank you, Coppertone.
No, I think he's talking about the eggnog people.
Eggnog people, yeah. Patches O'Hoolian for 5 says, slavery isn't a sin, but it sure was a mistake. I remember, dude, there was a lefty on Twitter. He was like, imagine what America would look like without slavery. And then he had to delete it because of everybody commenting like, it would be a paradise. Kim Jong-un for 5 says, I love thick girls and nukes. Of course, people pay Fed and state taxes. Why are people paying both if the feds are funding their state's welfare? Like WTF. Listen, if I knew why our tax system worked the way that it did, like, I would be able to solve world hunger or something like that.
He brings up a very good point, though, because for many, many years, I've said there should be an option on your taxes that you can either opt in or out to federal taxes. If you don't want to pay federal taxes, that money should be in an escrow for the state. That'll keep the feds responsible to the individuals at the state level, and that'll keep the state with an incentive to do better for their people. They're basically fighting for the money between the state and the feds.
Yeah, you say that, you oh my gosh, yeah, you say that as if the federal government or state government gives a damn about what's better for you. Thank you, Kim Jong-un. Appreciate it, sir. Coppertone32 says, hyphen Americans aren't actually American. Yeah, it's like when you have to say American, but you modify it with something else. Maybe you're just not that thing, right? Thank you, Coppertone.
What kind of
Appreciate it, sir.
are you?
Russell Stallman for $17.76, mega based, says, we at Staker Precision will send you a side ACOG mount, Sam. It's both ACOG and primary arm prism compatible. This moment has been a fear of mine for a year, but try the off cog. A meme that works, also cool. S. Huh. Well, Staker Precision, send me a message on Instagram or something like that. We'll talk. We'll talk. Good luck. Thank you, Russell. I appreciate it, man. Michael C. for 2 says 2 Thessalonians 3:10, sorry, which is very appropriate. Says, for even when we were with you, we commanded you this: if anyone will not work, neither shall ye eat. Now, this is in reference to believers in the church of Thessaloniki at the time. And I've also heard it pronounced Thessalonica. But of course, Paul saying, if you do not work, you do not eat. So people trying to say, oh, early Christians were actually communists because they said about a commune and community. It's like, no. If you do not work, you do not eat. Very simple biblical principle. Thank you, Michael Z. McLeod 2486 says, unfortunately, too many women will hook up with that EBT king because he gives her the quote-unquote tingles. Avoid the entire Walmart areas in the meantime.
The tingles are from a slap to the face, sir. That doesn't count.
Tingles come from when you wake up in a pool of your own blood. But how about this? All right, so this is the truth about it too. Now, other people have posted it, but EBT is not just like, oh, it's these people getting EBT. That's terrible. They're wasting their money. EBT also absolutely funds things like Coca-Cola, Big Sugar, Big Pharma, all of this stuff. It is a disgusting cycle, right? Because these people become obese, develop all sorts of additional conditions, and then they get on Medicare, Medicaid, whatever it might be. Then they feed into the big pharma system, and it is just this horrible, disgusting loop that is paid for by you and me, not only the other nefarious things that they do with these EBT food stamps and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So it is a whole disgusting system that does need to be taken completely apart, in my opinion.
They're paying into the pharma system both directly and indirectly because, as I think we're about to see, sometimes they're traded or sold for 50 cents on the dollar.
How are these people gonna pay their light bill if they can't sell food stamps? Cause y'all know a lot of people be selling their stamps, right? So how they gonna pay their rent? How they gonna pay their light bill? And they can't sell stamps. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know somebody. I'm just trying to figure it out. Cause the food stamps we have in multi-purposes now. How are these people gonna pay their light bill if they...
Yeah, so we have a secondhand market for EBT food stamps, whether it's 40, 50, 60 cents on the dollar. You got $500 in food stamps. That's a couple $100 right there, right? That you can use to pay other bills or whatnot, especially some of these women who have 9 babies from 8 baby daddies, right? And so they got food stamps for all of them so they can network and use that money for all sorts of wacky purposes and whatnot. And it's just a big charade, right? And it's all paid for again by me and you. Big annoying. Just Some Space Cowboy for 2 says custom ink stocks just rose by 5% after this video. T-shirts will be printed. That's my guess. Thank you, Space Cowboy. Appreciate it, sir. Eli for 2 says they could try it on their face on a t-shirt. Many such cases. I mean, listen. If you live in a urban environment, I would recommend keeping a close watch on your family should you send them out to engage in society, right?
I recommend anybody who's going to be going to Walmart, just order your groceries online, pull up to the spot. Somebody else, a Walmart employee, will put them in the back of your car and you drive off. Like, if you're in that sketchy area, don't even tempt it. Just go online, place your order, pick it up.
Oh my gosh. Somebody on Ko-Fi just sent me this. I will pull it up in just a second, sir. It's a black training camp at, of course, Planet Fitness. We'll take a look at that in just a second.
Oh, God.
Kim Jong-un. I love thick girls and nukes for 5 says, jokes on the men. It's wintertime. I'm carrying nukes under my hoodie. True. With this great coat on, I can store a tactical nuke under my hoodie.
Jokes
Thank you,
on
Kim
you,
Jong-un.
I'm keeping a nuke in my pants.
Oh, Moonman for 5 says maybe these Nappas should have let Uncle Sam give them a bad hip in the military and their bennies would be safe. You know, but that's the thing, right? If you give Uncle Sam 10 years of service or something like that, maybe you actually are entitled to some benefits, right? Rather than literally doing nothing. Thank you,
Can't
man.
do 20 hours a week. I doubt they can do 10 years.
Coppertone 32 for 2 says pug in human form. Yeah, many such cases, many disabilities. As what was the retard Kentaji Brown Jackson equated black people to disabled people, right? Was that her? Now I just have to
must
think.
missed that.
No, she did. She equated black people with disabled people. She's like, we like disabled, and it's like this is a Supreme Court justice. So do you ever think, right? They're in their meetings, right? And there's like 9 of them there, and Clarence Thomas is like glaring at Kentaji, being like, "You give me a terrible name. Your existence is pain." And then she's over in the corner, like drawing on crayons, and as they're deliberating, and every once in a while, she just jumps up and shouts something unintelligible, and the rest of them are just like, "Yeah,
I think
yeah, good
Kentaji
job."
is the one who
Good
put
job.
the hair on Clarence Thomas's Coke can.
Well, whatever
For
it is,
those
it's
of you
just
who don't know the
it's just
reference,
they're
check
just
it out.
like they're pretending that she's qualified. They're pretending that she's like contributing things, and they're just like, "Wow, yeah, great point." Even the liberal justices are like, yeah, you go, girl, slay,
Is anybody
queen."
really pretending? I thought she was picked explicitly because she's a black woman.
Yeah, literally, but you know what I'm saying. It's like this one's really hard to hide behind. Thank you, Moonman. Oh, wait, sorry. Moonman says you can take necessities, bread, milk, diapers, etc., and not go to jail in most places. But jumping people in the parking lot won't end well. Yeah, that's not going to go well. Not going to go the way you think it is in a lot of places. And unfortunately, a lot of innocent people have violence committed upon them, but a few people gonna find out, huh? Thank you, Moonman.
You know where you can get bread, milk, and diapers from for free often?
Your local church, your local homeless
100%.
shelter. Yeah. They will absolutely take care of you as long as you are not a degenerate, disgusting human being. Even sometimes, even if you are, they'll still take care of you.
I have worked several soup kitchens and handed out lines in food banks. We would serve degenerates 100% with a smile and say, "We hope you come back."
Polly B for 2 says, I understood 3/5 of it.
Ooh.
More than I did. Thank you, Polly. Andrew Webb for 5 says, all this reminds me of Negan saying, really? Really? Yeah, he's talking to the woman and she's like, I'm sorry, we don't have any food. We're starving. And she's like 100 pounds overweight. And he's just like, starving? Really? Really? As she's like crying in the background. Great scene. Thank you, Andrew Webb.
We need to get that for a clip.
That actually is a good clip. David Webb, or sorry, just David for 5 says, I ain't cool being no jive turkey so close to Thanksgiving. Yeah. Yeah,
Freudian
preach,
slip
brother.
calling him David Webb. That's funny.
Well, it was Andrew Webb is the guy before, and then I just kept everybody's Webb.
So do you know the story of David Webb is a black radio host who had a black woman call in and complain about his entitlement as a white man.
Right.
And he had to explain to her, he said, ma'am, I've been black the entire 53 years of my life.
She like, oops.
Yeah.
Subarctic Psycho says EBT cut Coca-Cola core most effective. Yeah, no, I agree. Big Sugar and Big Pharma will be drastically affected by the cut in EBT. There's an argument. There's a great book, actually. I forget what it's called, but it is on the beginnings of Nike and how they actually would not exist as a company without these welfare state that we have now. Because simply put, people, they're a luxury item, they're an accessory item. And people, if they had to spend that money on other things, they would not be buying retarded things like Jordans, right? So without welfare, we would not get the Air Jordan 13s or whatever that is. So thank you, Subarctic Psycho. Appreciate it, man. Andrew Webb for 5 says, worked at a Target in college, only white guy on shift, and the only one to use non-EBT to buy snacks for break time. Everyone was making $12 an hour. Well, listen, that's the thing, too, is a lot of these people are just trained from it's just normal to them. Like, of course we're on EBT. We were born this way. We were raised this way. So we will be on EBT from now until the end of time. Our mama was on EBT. She showed us how to get EBT. I'm gonna show my kids, or if I'm even in their lives, to be on EBT. And it's just this perpetual cycle of this welfare state, this nanny state, where the government is quite literally your daddy. Everybody was making $12 an hour. The Lightspore for 2 says, totally nice day, with some lightning emojis, which I think he's referring to the shocking Hassan Piker dog situation there. Thank you, the Lightspore. Appreciate that. I hope you have a totally nice day as well. Moonman for 5 says, put the banana suit on, Monkey Man. Do it now. What banana suit? What banana suit? There's no banana suit. That surely won't be used for a joke in the future at a certain Halloween-themed stream with some additional parts installed, let's say. All right. I hope it doesn't break YouTube TOS. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. All right, so here we have the U's practicing for their the local festivities, I suppose. So you can see them practicing for their Olympic archery, I think is what they're doing there. I think these are young archery academics, future scientists and lawyers. Just, prepping out those forearm muscles, those shoulder muscles for their activities in the future. Surely, these are the U's. It's true. They're not even holding it sideways. Not even holding it sideways.
Well, it's
now
harder to hold one of those weights sideways, Shadow Force. It's easier for them to hold it up and down with those noodle arms.
Well, I mean, listen, you say there's noodle arms, but when there's 20 of them jumping you, like how many people jumped that Doge kid? 10? 15 of them?
10.
15 of these U's? Doesn't matter how small they are when there's 15 of them.
My mag holds 18.
Yeah, you say that, but I mean, it ain't going to be one per. That's never how that works out.
Oh, it's never one.
As banana suit, do it now. Do I end the stream in a banana suit before Halloween? I gotta save it for Halloween because although it's not the full suit, so I can wear it. I can wear it for a minute, but we're gonna end the stream in the banana suit. Okay, give me a minute, Richard. I'll be right back. Entertain the folks. You can do this, right? Okay.
Yes.
Last time there was. Okay. I don't know.
I did okay. Right. I only lost one.
All right.
No.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna put a poll in the chat. Richard solo host. Solo host question mark. Please never again. It was okay. Okay, here we go. All right. I'll be back.
I agree. Always carry a pocket hand grenade. It's a good thing to do. But what pocket, sir? Hopefully it's not the prison pocket. No, nobody's fallen asleep. I'm not that boring. Come on, guys. It's only going to be a couple of seconds. At least I hope he's not gone chat leave for 5 minutes. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't take him that long to get changed. The banana onesie should be pretty easy to slip in and out of. I have it on good authority that he's got some Jergens right there to make the process easier to get in and out of. And there it is.
Let's go.
Hey, I'm up
banana
5.
Time.
Oh, and then drop 10. I tried.
People are saying it's okay. Okay. So I mean, you lost. You didn't lose. You did all right. You did all right as far as I can tell. Now, how about this? Perfectly themed timing for the banana suit appearance, which will be a little bit more in depth on Halloween. Let's say we have some additional parts, but this is the last thing a German woman sees after voting for Die Linke, which is actually funny because I think there's a link between dying and voting for Die Linke, right? This is the migrant in question. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you. But, just normal activities, going up to each door and trying to scratch out the ring cam in your apartment complex. Just normal behavior right there. This is what your daughter's walking home from school to. Just you know, millions and millions of these things. Just normal activities that they do. Totally sane, trusted person. Goes over to the next door cam. Tries to scratch that one out as well. And remember, this is in Germany, right? So in the US, in a Section 8 housing, at least you could have a gun. Here it's like, oh no, don't kill me. Oh no, the police. Oh, they're not going to stop you. Oh,
Why
this
did your
sucks.
German accent sound African?
I don't
never
have.
mind.
Well, I don't know. What's the? I don't have a good German accent, dude. I don't have
That
any
was
good
a good
accents,
German
right?
accent. The African accent is now German.
Hmm. Normal, sane behavior right there. Look at that, guys. So appropriately themed banana time here for the the cultural enrichment going on in Germany. Yeah. Anyways, that's all I got for tonight, guys. What a wonderful way to end the stream. This is gonna look so funny if this gets pulled up somewhere. That clip plus this. Yeah, that too. Over on Ko-Fi, Pap Blue Ribbon says the lady of color will have a taste of critical duty from my Glock 19 if she or any of her friends of color want to touch my kid's food. Which, listen, if one of these individuals attempts to steal from you in a Walmart parking lot and threatens you with violence, you should end their free subscription to life. I think that's fair.
It's not free. I'm paying for it.
Well, very, very true, actually. We updated the terms of service, and it turns out you no longer comply with life. Ridiculous. Actually, that's the video of the young youths at Planet Fitness practicing their Olympic archery. Says, video related, don't worry, nothing bad, just hilarious. Indeed, thank you. And then last one, Huge Ass says, EBT, entitled Black Trash. Tragic. All right. Well, Richard, what do you have going on that could lighten the mood for everyone here?
Well, tomorrow I've got a couple of clips coming out. One about Glock canceling their entire lineup, so that'll lighten the mood for everyone.
Oh, yay. Oh, wait, no, where did that picture go? I had that picture. I might as well show that here at the end of the stream for everybody that's here for the comped models. You could actually just put this clip and that clip together, and it'll be very funny because nobody will have any idea what's going on. All right, so we have the new distributor exclusive models. This is for the Gen V. So we are getting a Glock 19C, a Glock 45C, a Glock 17C, and a Glock 19X VMOS. So the only MOS model is a 19X. That is, again, dealer exclusive or distributor exclusive, probably Lipsy's. And then we get the 1945 and 17C model, which is ported. So we are going to get some cool ported models. We are not going to get any MOS standard models or any MOS ported models until later on.
No.
But if you like the 19X is the model to get for the Gen V.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, assuming that what we heard earlier is correct, that the interchangeable parts will be the magazine and the barrel.
That's it. Magazine in the barrel.
Do you think that it will be feasible for people to just have their slide milled and drop in their existing ported
What? I showed you my peel. Please respond. Yes, the triggers are completely different. So the triggers are not interchangeable. Listen, this is a very Surefire coated banana peel, very uncircumcised, fully intact.
That's not a kosher banana.
All right. Yeah, so that is the new Glock models. And yes, you should edit these two clips together. John, please say it's peanut butter jelly time.
Oh, you got to do the little dance.
It's peanut butter jelly time. David for 5 says, need to cover the 3 clowns at the front door video next stream. Oh, yeah, I saw that. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Thank you, David. I will add that to the list. Just Some Space Cowboy for 2 says, Smith and Wesson laughing in FRT. Well, that's the thing. I think AK guy, Brandon Herrera, he was on some other podcast. I think it might have been one of the Timcast episodes. And he was saying, listen, guys, like when this comes out, the Gen V, like we're going to be able to FRT or make it full auto in like 2 weeks or like 2 days or something like that. Like it's not going to take very long to figure out how to trip this year. It's just not. So, I mean, as much as they're trying to get around the switchology type of thing, this is mostly just for legal protection. It's not actually going to do anything against people wanting to make FRTs or make it full auto.
Well, legal and financial protections, because they're now going to only be offering the Vs, and they're hopefully going to use the court rulings to go after the other manufacturers who are producing aftermarket parts.
Yeah, we can take a look at that too, the DoorDash SA situation. But yeah, go ahead and check out Focus Clips. I just put that in the chat for everyone to enjoy. Let me do it again just to make sure.
We just surpassed 6,700 subscribers, which means we just passed 6969. Nice.
And then I also put the new Discord server in there as well for all of you to enjoy. Let me make sure that we got everything. But
the
with
Discord is up. Just give us a couple of days. Be patient with us to get everyone in.
But with all of that out of the way, click the links in the chat right now, or I will find you and you won't like it. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.